Yellow.
everybody. It's Wednesday.
Hey.
Back
It's
again.
the other Wednesday.
It's another Wednesday. There's a lot of those. Somebody quick, do some
There's
math.
a lot of those.
Tell me how many Wednesdays there are in a year. I'm too busy to do the math right now.
52 divided by 7.
Somebody do that. Somebody figure that out.
Oh god, less than 10.
That's not.
That's all I know.
So
Wait,
anyways,
why did I say 52 divided by 7?
This is why I said somebody else should do
52
it.
weeks and then 7 days in a week.
No, it's 52 times 7? Wait, no.
No,
This is
it's
stupid.
52.
There's 52.
It's 52.
There's one every week.
Oh no, it's on the
We figured it out, and now everybody knows how bad we are at math.
Delete.
Oh god,
Everyone
start it
knows
over.
how
Uninstall.
bad.
Uninstall. Start it
no.
over.
It's too late for that. It's too late.
Delete.
Oh my
It's
god.
too late.
I was
This is-
right there with you. On the
I was
Oh
trying,
my
you know, I
God.
was trying to kind of push through, but I was stopped dead in my tracks. And
Wow, I'm
I
already
was
working on the
stopped
clip,
dead
you
in my
guys.
tracks so that you guys could say that. And
I'm so embarrassed that I got like flushed. I can feel flop sweat.
yeah,
That was embarrassing.
I mean, to be fair, I think most people would, because that's
It's pretty bad.
I mean, I know I would, and I'm.
Hey, at least we got to the bottom of it though. Fucking 52.
Oh
We
boy.
figured out how many
That's how many
Wednesdays there are.
sevens there are in a Wednesday.
Speaking of,
Oh my god.
yeah, exactly. So I don't know if you guys, if you viewers at home have noticed this, but we're short an alpha, a Nox tonight. He's been unfortunately been tied up with some work stuff, as it does happen sometimes, and so we're gonna have to just push on without him tonight. But our Dan McGowan is going to be rolling for him, so things will continue on, and he'll be back with us next time.
Like Limp Bizkit.
Sure.
He might pop up in the chat as well, since I think he's working from home, but it's still kind of, big work project is what I heard.
I like to play D&D and work at the same time.
Exactly. Well, this time we're picking up on the outskirts of the farming village of Sorau. The group having just taken some time to find a place to set an ambush for the Goru Behir after enlisting the help of a few locals and acquiring 3 Tanal sort of pack beasts, which have all had small remote detonating explosives surgically implanted within them by the local Batarian veterinarian, Doc Irawak, kind of a...
The Batarian veterinarian?
Yes, sir. Not intentional, but there we are.
You don't tell no lies. You did that on
Don't say that's
purpose.
not intentional. Are you
I
joking?
got a cop to it. I'm not going to take credit for something that I didn't do on purpose,
No, that you
did that
take that credit and
subliminally.
you run with it.
Yeah.
well, you're right, but that's what a coward does. I will admit to my own. I don't even know what that is. It's not a shortcoming.
Coincidental pun.
Yeah. To just think to not always being intentionally clever.
Sometimes I'm unintentionally clever. That might even be better. Sorry, I'm gonna stop.
It's okay. But you've taken some time to scope out an abandoned farm that looks like has been wrecked by the Behir on a previous occasion. Both kind of the single story prefab farmhouse and the barn both having had big sections of the walls ripped open by the claws or the fangs or just maybe the sheer mass of this creature. It is early afternoon by this time. And I would like to start off with having Ray, could you please roll me
Oh God.
a D8?
Fuck. Yes. One moment.
She forgot her dice.
You know, I forgot mine too, so I'm using a janky die roller tonight.
Mine are in the box somewhere, except for my D4, which is under the refrigerator in my department.
Yeah.
So, rest in peace, that D4.
Oh my God, the results of that die roll will be forever unknown.
Well, it was a cat that did that, so.
Everything's fine. We're fine.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
All right. What do you need?
Roll a D8, please.
Excellent. Is that 2 pyramids ass to ass? You bet it.
You mean that's yes, the double pyramid,
5.
as I like to call it.
2 pyramids ass to ass. That's exactly what I said.
Yeah, mine's fast. My way's faster though.
Butt to
I
butt, booty to booty.
I rolled a 5.
A 5. These you guys are standing in the out, you know, both in the, whether you're inside one of the structures or out in the open yard. Skies are clear for now. There's a few clouds, but it's mostly actually a sunny early afternoon, fairly warm for this time of year. Not warm enough where the snow is melting, but those of you without helmets, which I suppose is everybody but Alpha and Omega, since they're robots, synthetics.
Permanent.
You know, it's not terribly uncomfortable with your head uncovered. Torque, you with that extremophile racial feature, you barely notice. So it's a cool breeze on your scales.
Yeah, everybody else is like kind of like trying to keep it out of their eyes and like wincing, and I'm just out here like, just basking in it.
And you had Torque. You had cleared some space in the barn to park the Mako, trying to kind of maybe hide it a little bit. McGowan and Omega had searched the house. Rhea, you had been kind of just keeping an eye out on the vicinity around you for any movement. And Doc Irawak and Alpha were on their way back with the 3 creatures. Or actually they had already returned.
Doc Irawak, the Solarian veterinarian.
The Batarian veterinarian.
Damn it!
Almost. And that's where we pick things up. We'll say it's about 1:30 in the afternoon, probably. Or for here, let's see, it would be 1:30 in the afternoon, which would be it's a 26-hour day, so it's you're a little further along into the day than you would be here on Earth, but it's early afternoon on the planet.
So, just for my own clarity, there is a 13 o'clock on this planet.
Yes.
Okay, cool. And that's noon and midnight.
Yep.
2 of them. How many 13 o'clocks are there in a 52-hour week?
Oh, geez.
Wednesday.
A 52-hour week is like less than 2 days.
I think your math is wrong there.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, no, it's exactly correct, actually. It's 26, 26 times 2.
Oh, on this planet, sure.
To clarify, I did no internal math to try and disprove you just then.
Yeah, I got that impression. Yes, what do you guys want to do? If anything at all, other than just kind of keep an eye out and kill some time.
I think we should go over the plan.
plan, and I apologize, I don't have the Alpha and Omega voice details.
I think everyone will forgive you.
Lots of little.
I
But
won't.
the plan, as I understand it, is wait for the Behir to show up and eat the animals, blow them up, and then finish the job.
And
I've
then,
got my grenade launcher. Torque, you were in the Mako.
yeah, it was then after that I would charge with the Mako. And after I strike the beast or pass the beast, depending on whether or not it dodges, then you open fire with the heavy weapons. And then we'll
Oh, okay.
wheel round and point the cannon at it.
Yeah. So I got the order of operations right. I'm waiting for you to hit with the Mako before I shoot the grenade launcher.
I guess it could be either or. I just think that if I make a hit, then I'll be clear of the beast for you to make your heavy weapons attack. Or maybe you should make your heavy weapons attack first, so it's even more injured by the time I get there with the Mako.
I've got more than one bullet, so I can do both.
Oh yeah, this is where we landed before, was that after the initial detonation, maybe you can fire at the same time as the initial detonation, and then I'll go at it with the Mako and wheel round while
Sounds
you're
good.
reloading.
Yeah, I like that plan.
I like this plan.
I forgot where Alpha was going to be positioned.
I think Alpha was going to be driving the Mako, or in the turret, maybe. I can't remember.
In the turret, I'm driving.
Okay. So
Oh, of course, I'm muted. That's excellent. I said heard, so.
McGowan is going to just go get into position.
Where I have the map pulled up. If you guys want to take a look at it, if you're not already taking a look.
So the old house, not the barn, but the house.
Yes, sir.
There's the I think it was a window on the northeast side, the northeast, like the top corner there, that gray section. Is that a window?
That's a door.
That's a door.
Those gray strips like that are doors. It's those light blue strips that are windows.
Okay. Well then, and there's sort of a bent wall and then some like rubble kind of.
Yeah, there's like this rubble, snow-covered rubble in here.
Yeah.
It's more rusted, kind of scratched, shredded.
But like coming off of that bent wall, the northern one.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be right back.
Is that gray section? Is that rubble?
It is scratched floor where the wall was
Oh.
like forcibly dragged along the metal plates. It looks like.
Quick question, also, not to be annoying. Where
That's
are
okay.
the tunnels?
The Tanal are again hidden because I love.
That's computer stuff.
Oh, they're so cute.
Yeah, they're just some regular old deers, but we needed
so
something to stand in for them.
So they're not in position yet.
No, they're all unconscious, kind of in the barn.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Still sedated.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go just sort of jump behind that in that top corner by the door there, where McGowan's gonna go.
Okay.
Sort of taking cover, trying to stay out of sight.
Okay. The door is closed, and if you will need to be forcibly moved if you want to open it at all.
Well then, he's not going to do that. He'll go down that L-shaped wall in there. He's just going to hide in there for now.
Okay. Yeah, and this is like a dresser, like a cabinet that looks like it was moved just from like the force of impact. So
Okay.
you're kind of wedged in there between a few things, just so you know.
How big is the dresser?
I mean, it's like probably like 5.5 feet tall. It's like a dresser, 5.5 feet tall, like 3-ish feet wide.
A dude could hide behind it though.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like Torque probably couldn't, but yeah, if you kind of
It's like a
crouch
fly.
down, you
Yeah.
might be able to. Like
Yeah.
you can see over the top of it right now, but if you kind of
Yeah.
like duck down,
I'm gonna drag it out into sort of like more the middle of that structure and hide
okay.
behind it.
Where would you like it to go?
Yeah, like that's pretty good right there.
Okay, sure. Okay. Yeah, easy enough. Yeah, and if there's stuff you guys want to move, there's plenty of there's crates, there's bales of hay, there's all kinds of stuff you can move around if you want to take the time to position it. You know, set up barricades, whatever you want to do.
Just don't block the way of the Mako.
Yeah. I mean, so how many people are going to be out of it? Myself and McGowan?
You, McGowan,
No,
Omega, and then the Doc, who brought his own truck, so he can he can probably just clear out if you want him to.
Yeah, why is the
Yeah.
doc here? Get him out of here.
He brought the he's been keeping the Tanal sedated.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing. You can keep him here to help with the animals if you want, and he can clear out when.
Because remember,
Yeah, I
he's
can.
a vegetarian veterinarian.
I can stay until the shit gets started, or I can go now. It depends on what you want.
I think if all we need is for the animals to be tied up and left for bait, then you should get out of here.
All right, no complaints. If you survive, come find me in town. You owe me a drink. And he says it in a kind of a friendly
Yeah.
way. He's not being a dick about it. And
He's bemused by our antics.
he'll kind of give each of you a nod and walk away and get in his truck and drive off.
Farewell, Batarian veterinarian.
So I'd like to, if things aren't stacked or something, I would like to stack up a few things so I can either see out of that window that's at the back corner of the non-Mako one, or give myself some fake high ground to like stand on.
Which window? This one here?
Nope, other one.
This one?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, and there's hail bays. There's those bales of hay.
Hail base.
Hails of bay.
Hails a bay.
Two in a row now. Last time it was a Tanark.
The beads of Farley.
Yep. Yeah, there's bales of hay and there's like some metal crates. It just kind of depends on what you want to do. The bales of hay are, as they are sort of in real life, they're probably about 5-6 feet tall, pretty goddamn heavy. But if you get a couple people,
Are they
you can
like
push
stacked?
them. No, they're just like one kind of each. They're singles laying on their sides, but then there's also metal crates, which are 3 feet by 3 feet by 3 feet roughly. So those could be stacked up.
Okay.
If you
I would
wanted
like to stack up some crates that I can then stand on relatively sturdily. Maybe put it behind a little hay bale in the corner there, so it's got some, stability.
Whereabouts would you like to position
Near the
all that
window, so I
stuff?
can look. I could still see out the back if it's a higher.
Oh,
I'm imagining
sure,
this is like
sure.
higher ceilings if it's kind of like warehousey.
The barn is more of a warehouse. The house is is like a single story. It's like a single story prefabricated structure, and there are no windows on the barn. Again, those black things, those are doors. Those are like sliding doors.
You will.
I can't decide. I just want to give myself some high ground in one of the buildings, but I can't decide if it would be worth it to be in the other one. It just has more protection, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, you could set up, if you wanted to move some stuff around, you could, set up like a hay bale, like here, so you're not,
okay.
blocking like McGowan's line of sight really. I mean, McGowan, you can also always reposition your barrel, and and that your bale. If you wanted to like get a little bit up off the ground, Ray, you could throw a couple of metal boxes behind it, and then you'd have like you kind of have like a half cover sort of situation.
Yeah, that's fine with me. That makes sense.
Oh, it's because it's
locked. Well, one thing a thought I had is
it so weird.
Be good to have people in both buildings so that when we start shooting at it doesn't just go, oh, everything's coming from that building. I'm gonna go fuck that up.
I could kind of do like a similar thing where I post up in the back behind the Mako and up, like as much as I kind of can, so I have an angled shot on it, and before the Mako has to go.
Okay.
I'll at least have a wider range.
And then move those crates. So like, we'll do like the.
Oh, wait a second.
The beasties up here for now.
I'm into.
And then. Sorry, what was that, Torque?
I thought, for some reason, I only left it as implied that the beasts were going to be tied up to the tree on the outside.
I can move them. That's just kind of where they were brought initially, so we can move them wherever. So something kind of like that, Ray. Like
yes.
Back that way, kind of behind the Mako, and then you can move a couple of these crates up.
Yeah.
For a little bit of like high ground, sure. And I'll say if you're standing behind the crates, it's not you're behind the hay bale. Mm-hmm. It's not going to do a ton, just because it'll only be like coming up to like just above your knees probably.
Yeah.
But if you
you said if they're about 5 to 6 feet and the crates are 3 feet, then I've got 3 feet of space to like duck down, kind of.
Yeah. So
prone style.
So what I'll say is, if you're standing on the crates, they are like half cover, and if you're kneeling behind them, they're 3/4 cover.
Okay.
You can kind of, with some help, you kind of can get a little bit of a setup there. You want the Tanal kind of out by the tree.
To the left of it.
To the left of it, okay. We'll just sort of like scatter around. And while you guys are kind of getting into position, there comes a point where you start to notice that the creatures are beginning to come to a little bit, and they're making not loud noises yet, but they're starting to make a little bit of noise. They're reacting a little bit to being handled, but they're still very heavily sedated. But you can tell that, after you guys spend about an hour kind of discussing preparations for things, there's the sedatives are starting to wear off a bit.
These poor fucking Tanal.
Yeah.
Okay. It looks like he fell over.
Well, they're still like laying down half asleep.
Oh, okay.
Like fainting goats.
That's what they look like, yeah.
Okay, I want to post up in my spot. Because right now I'm just standing out in the middle of everything.
There you go. McGowan,
I was like, bye, Doc, the bartender.
Did you want to move anything at all, McGowan?
I already moved that dresser. Okay. I would just like a better line of sight on the Tanal, if that's where they're going to be.
Okay, so you want to move up probably?
Yeah, just a little bit. And then Omega, a little bit back from the entrance.
Yeah, we'll put your. How's right there?
That's perfect.
Because then you've got a little bit more of a little clearer line of sight, and because this rock here might be.
How big is that rock?
That rock is probably like 8 feet tall.
Oh damn!
It's a big boulder sticking out of the snow.
That's a nice rock.
That's a nice boulder.
That is
And
a
then,
nice boulder.
Omega's gonna
Boulder, get it? Boulder?
Bold would be in the building with McGowan.
Alpha or Omega?
No, Alpha's in the Mako on the turret.
Okay, so Omega will put kind of back behind the cover there.
That sounds good.
Okay. So with everyone in position, Torque, is there anything, do you want to reposition the Mako at all? Or does that look good to you?
My objective with putting it in there was to make sure that it was, because as I understand it, the hills that we spotted the creature from are like northeast, like in the upper, past
Yeah,
the upper
they're
right.
kind of like, kind of up this direction.
So if he's likely to approach from there, then I'm pretty well hidden where I am, and as long as I have sort of like a curved line to get out and sort of head towards where the Tanal are.
Okay. Sounds good.
Just a little curvy.
Okay. So, if that's all the preparations you guys want to make, I would like McGowan and Ray to both please make perception checks. For this first period of time while you guys are waiting.
11.
Dirty 20.
Starting it off right.
Did you hear that?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
So for the first couple of hours, I'm gonna say first 4 hours, you all are sitting fairly tensely, not really sure when this thing is going to show up. It may, or if it even will. And it's by halfway through the second hour when the Tanal are kind of fully out of their stupor, and they start to make a lot of noise. A lot of strained, clearly discomforting, like uncomfortable sounds, probably in a great deal of pain. But the sounds of a vulnerable prey creature are very useful for attracting predators. But it does start to wear on you because the sounds don't stop, really. These are animals that don't really have, they're in pain. They don't understand that pain. And so it just keeps going.
What does it sound like, Mike?
It sounds...
I need to be immersed.
Yeah, no, that's fair. It's sort of this...
I hate it already.
Like this kind of shrieking. I'm not a sound box. I can only do so
Sort
much.
of an upset bugle.
Yeah, they're not moving a lot. They're restrained still, so they're struggling against their bonds, but they're not getting anywhere really. And as this first 4-hour period comes to an end, there's still no sign of the Behir. Go ahead and roll another perception check for me, the two of you.
Can I get
Torque,
on my radio real quick?
Yeah. If you guys want to,
19.
if you guys want to converse at all during this period, that's totally fine.
You guys digging the animal sounds too, or just me?
You should try being on Tachanka. The animal.
To be honest, I think I'm all right without it if it's anything like this.
Well, it's not as cold, that's for sure.
I don't mind warm weather.
Oh. So who has the detonator to this thing?
Have I been to Chachunk?
That was actually a good question.
You haven't been there, but it's infamous, so you're very aware of it. It's the Krogan homeworld. And basically, as long as the Krogan have been a part of the galactic community, it has been in the aftermath of a nuclear winter.
I just didn't know if she would have been like hired there or anything.
Yeah, self-inflicted. So I mean, you'd be familiar. It's a hot wasteland planet, basically. All the cities are rubble. Yeah, it's not a fun place to be, by all accounts. You've probably never been there.
Although, also by all accounts, it's probably a place where pros are hired quite often.
Could be. I mean, I would say, Torque, you would know that Krogan are fairly territorial, and they're not super fond of off-worlders, because off-worlders are the people that built the complex that released the genophage. So Krogan feelings about outsiders is a pretty mixed bag. It's really case by case.
Gotcha.
Because some people, Krogan more like yourself, are, perfectly fine with off-worlders coming to the planet. But then there's a lot of more older traditionalists who are still very wary of non-Krogan, non-Tuchanka. They just assume the worst, oftentimes. Okay, well, for the second, you rolled a 19. What did you get, McGowan?
5.
I am still wondering who has the
5.
detonator.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, that was something that Dan, the player, forgot. If it was,
I think it was Alpha.
Alpha, yeah.
Oh yeah, Alpha wired up everything.
Yeah.
Again, another 4 hours go by, much as the first 4 did. No sign of the Behir. And there comes a point where the sounds of the creatures do die down for a while, seemingly having tired themselves out or something else. Torque, at this time, please roll a d8 for me.
Okay.
That's 2 pyramids ass to ass, if you don't remember.
Double pyramid.
Ass to ass, booty to booty, tuchus to tuchus, and cheek to cheek.
I want that as a sound alert on my stream.
Fun fact, I wrote that song, and it's about having a shower with someone and rubbing your butts together. Anyway, I rolled the 7.
So that means I can have it as a sound alert.
At the beginning, it's about 9:30 p.m. by now, and it's dark. It's been dark for a couple hours. And it's at this time, Torque, you don't notice it because you're in the Mako, and McGowan and Ray, you guys are both fairly well sheltered, but you start to feel a strong, bitterly cold wind begin to blow across the tundra.
God damn it.
Fuck.
There's no snow, but the wind is very biting, very cold, and if it wasn't for the sort of basic environmental protections that your armor offered, you would be quite uncomfortable. This is fortunately not. It's just a very strong, very cold wind. There's no snow or heavy cloud cover accompanying it, so the weather generally holds, but it gets much colder, and especially at night when the sun is no longer out. It is now probably near 0. Go ahead and make your perception checks, you two.
That's gonna be a 10.
I mean, they'll also be a disadvantage because it's dark out now, and neither of you have night vision.
Well, that's a shame. It was the same roll twice, so 18.
Nice.
Okay. about 2.5 hours into this period, the noise from the creatures having picked up its volume again a little bit over the last 20 minutes or so from the wounded Tanal. McGowan, you're struggling to kind of stay awake at this time, not because you're especially tired, but it's been a long day, and the cold is sapping some of your energy. But looking out in front of you, out into the fields, between the forest at the base of the mountains and where you are now is it's white. It's just white, open plain, open farmland. And you see something dark moving across that white space. A big shadow moving pretty quickly. It almost like slinks out of the darkness of the forest. Just this very smooth, sort of swaying motion. And whatever it is a few minutes away, but you've definitely seen something big moving out in the fields.
Does it look like it's moving towards us?
With that perception check, yes, it's moving in your general direction. It seems whatever it is probably moving towards the sounds.
Would you like?
What'd you say?
We got movement. I think it's coming this way.
Oh, hell.
Get ready.
Is it big?
Yep.
Torque's gonna go ahead and use a barrier.
Okay.
I was gonna say, Rhea was about to be like, "Will both of you ready up and shut up?"
There's no time limit on the barrier, is there? They don't just last like a minute, right?
I think that it's
Let me see.
a minute. Yeah.
Barriers.
Barrier? I hardly know her.
Wow. 1 minute. Barrier lasts 1 minute.
Okay, great. All right.
Oh damn it! You said it was a few minutes away.
Yeah, you can hold it for a little bit if you want to. I won't make you waste it.
Yeah, can I say I'm holding that action? I guess.
Yeah. If you want to hold it, if you want to hold it in the in the case we have there's an obvious sort of break in time before a combat starts. Yeah, that's fine. You won't have to wait to combat to do it. You'll be able to do it before combat.
Cool.
Yeah. All of you, after a couple of minutes, Gowan, you're tracking this thing and it's getting bigger. And you're more of a defined shape. You can tell it's not just big; it's very long. Almost snake-like in its sort of body shape. You can start to feel vibrations in the ground as this thing moves forward. And it's this sort of steady thundering in your feet. From just the size of whatever this thing is and its speed. It's moving quite quickly. And you see, even in the dark, we'll say because it's a fairly clear night out, there's good moonlight. It's not like daylight, but it's enough where the light reflecting off the snow, when this shape gets close enough, within a couple 100 feet, that this is the Goru Behir. It is at least 50 feet from nose tip to tail. Its scales are this sort of iridescent blue-gray that shimmer a little bit.
50 feet.
It has like what has 6 limbs on each side, to 6 sets of limbs, sort of stubby compared to the rest of it, but each one ending in 3 long, dark claws. Its head is almost crocodilian, but it has a bit more of a like a flare to its snout than a crocodile. It's long and narrow and flat, but the nose and end of the mouth bulge a little bit more, so it kind of has this almost kind of curve to the top. Not an underbite. It's like the nose is a little more bulbous than the rest of it, and you see it also has a pair of sort of big curved ram's horns kind of coming off the back of its head. And as it approaches, it draws close to the Tanal.
Oh my god.
And it doesn't aggressively attack them. It sort of keeps a little bit of a distance for a bit. Slowly kind of creeping in, not bothered by the sounds, and you see it kind of starts to sniff the Tanal as they squirm on the ground, and the Tanal begin to react strongly to the presence of this predator, for whom they are easy prey, and under normal circumstances they would probably be trying to escape, but given that they're bound and injured, they are at its mercy and they are panicking. Fortunately, it seems that this has drawn the attention. This is what the Behir is focused on in this moment, and you see it kind of rears up, its front 2 limbs becoming these like almost more muscular kind of T-Rex arms. They're a little bit longer and have more mobility, but they're very stubby in comparison to the length of this creature. And you see it kind of scoops up one of the creatures in its claw, sniffs it, kind of like tips its head to the side, and sinks its teeth in and just rips it in half and starts to chew.
That's not great.
On it, holding the other half in this front claw, and it sits there kind of just masticating. You can see these long fangs, like each one is like 6 to 8 inches in length probably, and these are like, they look like a mix of sort of conical, again, sort of crocodilian teeth used for snapping and holding prey, but also sort of serrated shark teeth used for ripping and slicing through meat. This is a very large, very fearsome looking creature, and it's bigger than the Mako, at least in length.
Jesus.
Because the Mako's about 20-ish, 25, 20 feet from end to end. This thing is much longer, and the little icon I have here is that he's sort of coiled up, as you can see, so he's not quite at his full length.
I want to get on the radio and say to Alpha, wait to see if it eats all 3.
I will need stealth checks from everybody right now. Torque and Alpha both have advantage because you guys are inside of a powered down vehicle.
Alpha got a natural 20.
Nice.
Fuck.
Do I roll for
That's good.
What'd you say? For Omega? Yeah, roll for you and Omega as well. You guys are just rolling straight checks, though.
Ooh.
I got a 17.
I'm going for Omega, because that's a natural 1.
Shit.
And McGowan also got a natural 1.
Oh, no.
You guys, no.
Well, one of us is a robot, and the other one has a grenade launcher. So.
Does anyone have any cards or inspiration?
I got
Well,
I got a 14.
I got a roll for our boy here, so hang on. He could roll real bad as he also rolled a natural 1 for a total of 7.
Oh, I suppose I should.
What a clusterfuck. That literally sounds like something like a farce where a door closes and someone thinks someone else is opening and everyone's just looking in the wrong spot. Like
That's pretty much what's going on here. Because McGowan, you got your rifle kind of perched up on the side of this. You're kind of peeking around the side of your cover there, and as you sort of adjust yourself, you accidentally slam your shoulder into the metal of it. And if it was just your bare shoulder, it wouldn't make a lot of noise, but because you're wearing metal body armor, it kind of makes this clanging, scraping sound. And you fuck. And you even over the sort of private radio channel you're all using, McGowan, you're going fuck, because you fucked up. But the Behir doesn't seem to notice. You guys just all kind of bunker down for like a minute. And the thing it finishes swallowing the first bite that it took, and it shoves the rest of that first creature in its mouth and starts to chew, and it does not seem to have noticed. It's too fixated on its meal and the noises of its prey, probably, to have noticed you.
Right.
Wow.
Rhea, you just hear very quietly over the omnitool going, "What the fuck was that?" I think I'm the only one that succeeded. Just heard calamity around me.
I sort of imagine it as like we see this giant harrowing monster, and in like the silence and the snowstorm, Torque like very slowly picks up his Omni tool and sensitively and quietly radios it in. And then McGowan, after like a little bit of silence, just like clangs off the wall.
Yeah, McGowan,
I was thinking like
too.
McGowan had the gun up and he's like, okay, there it is. Like we're on this shit. And then you come through the Omni tool and you're like, all right, there he is. He's like, oh, he's like, oh my god.
And McGowan and all that, you managed to catch your foot on some of the debris under the snow, and it just scrapes and screeches along itself. But again, the Behir is too distracted, and maybe the noises of these creatures are drowning out the noise that you made.
All right, is it eating the next one?
It has scooped up one and is looking to scoop up the second one in its kind of foreclaws.
All right.
We're waiting on it to keep doing its thing.
As soon as it either finishes the third one or shows no interest in any more eating, then detonate, and we'll be ready. We'll use that as the cue.
Mm-hmm.
That was specifically
How will
the
you know? It's a joke. That was a joke.
It's kind of collecting these other two creatures, squirming in its claws. It kind of looms its head down and gives them both a big sniff and starts to kind of like turn its body away from you all.
Is it leaving?
It is turning away from you. Not super quickly, just kind of like.
No, that's what Torque was saying over the radio to everyone. We can't let it get too far, but we have to be sure.
Okay, it's turning around. What do you guys want to do? It's getting ready to head back the way it came. It looks like prey and arm.
Alpha's gonna detonate. Oh, it's holding him, right?
It's holding two of them and it's eaten one.
Okay, yeah. Then Alpha's gonna detonate.
Any saving throws I need to make for those?
It's
Well,
happening. It's happening.
that's the question. So grenades, we used frag grenades, um, which you do make a dexterity saving throw. But how do you make a dexterity saving throw for something that's in your stomach?
I would say we'll make it a Constitution save at disadvantage under these circumstances. And I'll say it's a
I don't know how strong his
Constitution.
stomach is.
What's the dexterity save normally?
Save DC is 11.
Save DC is 11, and what's the? You roll what, a D10 for those?
I think it's a D12.
Okay.
That's a shit save.
It's Mark 1, so
Yeah, it's a very low level grenade.
but how many? We had a shitload of them in there.
Yeah, you made I think it was 2, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
And we'll say that he ate the 3.
Hell yeah.
Not that you would know, but for rolling damage dice
Oh,
purposes.
Carl.
Okay, so
I knew I shouldn't have named them.
I'm gonna make a Constitution saving throw at disadvantage. It has a +4 to its con.
Ah.
Okay.
I'll say for the
Nice.
for the 3, the DC it needs to beat is a 16,
Okay.
and for the 2s it'll be a 14.
Okay.
And these are all at disadvantage.
Yeah, buddy.
Hey. Shoot it in the butt.
First one is the first is a failure with a 6.
Okay.
The second is a failure with a 7.
Nice.
And the third is almost a success. It rolled a 17. Disadvantage rolled an 8. So
Okay.
that is a 12. So all 3 fail.
Die,
Okay.
motherfucker.
So then I roll.
My headphones came out. 1 second. My
So-
cable. Anyway, okay, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah. So
Yes.
I roll 7 d12s.
Yep.
Blah.
There isn't max damage for the ones that are inside
How did this
them.
work? This is amazing.
Oh, it's still just they're grenades. You know, like if you guys had made like hand constructed like custom explosives, you could have done, you know, maybe have modified them to work in a more specific way. But you've basically put a bunch of hand grenades on a detonator, so they still work like grenades.
That's 47 points of damage.
47 points of damage. Nice.
Yeah.
Let me do some quick math here,
Quick math.
because as we've already discussed, we're all very bad at math. We've already established that.
Kind of found that one out
Are
earlier.
you sure it wasn't 52 damage?
You said 57?
47.
47.
I wish it was 57.
Okay.
You're muted, by the way.
No, he's not.
No, I'm not.
Oh, your mouth is moving, but
All right.
No,
so, as the Behir
I'm just
turns
eccentric,
around,
I don't know.
these two Tanal in its 4 claws, one on its way to its belly, Alpha in the back of in the gunner's seat of the Mako, beep, boom, and it just boom, 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 boom. These like cluster bombs go off as each grenade goes off independently, kind of just half a second after the previous one, and it's this bloom of orange and blue and red and yellow and white smoke, fire, and light as these grenades go off.
Fire up the Mako.
The creature still reeling, still facing away from you. Torque, you're gonna use your let's roll initiative.
No! Okay, fine.
What? Did you think we weren't going to roll initiative?
Sometimes if we have a plan, you get a little bit of privilege up front. That's what that was.
That's what that was.
Okay, fine.
That's what that was.
Okay.
Because you succeeded on those, or rather, it failed on its perception check. So you guys got your surprise round in there with that.
Yes.
And I'd say like Alpha is not able to shoot with his gun, because it's he's out of line of sight. I will say, Torque, if you wanted to drive the Mako like just so that the nose of it is sticking out of the building, you could do that before we start. Just kind of
Do
get
I
a little,
have
just to get a
a
little
shot
bit.
on it?
Yes, and Rhea, you do have a shot as well. So if you want to take a shot, go for it too.
I have
Cool.
a question.
Yeah.
Does Omega have a separate initiative, or do they go at the same time?
They go at the same time usually.
Okay.
I think they're supposed to have a separate initiative, but it's easier to remember it if they go at the same time.
Okay.
Die, motherfucker.
I will try and use the gun. My sniper.
All right. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
So yeah, she's been aimed up for a little while, and okay. Ta-da. 14.
14 is not going to hit. It hits, but it ricochets off the scales.
Excuse?
Um,
I don't like that at all.
um,
Can I use my well, can I just use the what?
Sorry, what were you going to say?
Oh, I was just gonna reload and be done with my turn.
Yeah, I'd say you could reload. That's fine. McGowan, is there anything you want to do for the surprise round?
Yeah. How far away is it from me? I might have to move out.
Let's see, 5. So meters, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. It's about 34 meters away.
What does that translate to in feet? I have.
It's like 80 feet or so.
Okay. Can I move up 10 feet and then shoot my grenade launcher?
Yeah. So that would be just like right there.
And then I'm just going to shoot right at the ground by its foot.
Right. What is it? A saving throw or an attack roll?
Let me pull that up. DC 14 dexterity saving throw.
All right. Okay, so I'm gonna keep this die roller is messing with me real bad. I'm just so used to reaching to the left for my dice that I keep like going to do it and they're not there. 14. No, 17.
Okay, so it passes, so that it only takes 5 damage.
Okay. So you fire the grenade off, and as it just like your grenade just kind of the round of the grenade launcher just falls a little bit short as it's sort of recoiling and writhing in pain from the explosion, and it gets a little bit of it, but it's not a whole heck of a lot.
Then does Omega get a surprise round action?
Omega, yes.
Omega will pop around the corner and shoot an overload.
What's the range on overload?
120 feet.
Okay, yeah, you're good. So he's shooting an overload. Saving throw again.
Let me see. Yeah, it's deck save. Deck save.
Deck save.
Yeah. Okay. So I just have to figure out what the DC is. I don't know where that is on this character sheet. So
you guys can't hear the battle music, but it's fucking dope.
Yeah, we gotta get that music stuff coordinated.
I'm doing music. You just can't hear it.
Oh, is it on the stream?
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Audience, I'm glad that we finally got this working for you, because we've been trying to get it working for a while. We've put together some fun music playlists, and we still got a few little things we want to iron out. We want to try and get it so that we can all hear it along with you guys. But as long as you guys can hear it, that's good enough to start with.
If you know how to do that, by the way, please message me.
All right. So
It's another DC 14.
another DC 14. Okay. That's going to be a 15.
Oh.
Okay, so then that's another 5 points of damage, and it is primed.
Primed with lightning.
No, balls. That's not the one I wanted to use, but that's fine.
What did you want to use?
I wanted to use Incinerate.
Oh, that's okay. We can do it. We can. That's fine. If you want to use Incinerate, we can do that. Is it a saving throw as well, or is that an attack roll?
I think that might be an attack roll.
Okay.
Cheater! Just kidding.
It's not your character, so we'll
Let me double
give
check because I don't know any of these. Yeah, ranged attack.
range attack, primes fire. Okay.
So then let me make an attack roll.
I heard that.
That's going to be
Kill him, Mukau.
What'd you get?
I'm trying to figure out what my probably not enough. That would be Dex plus proficiency, I would imagine.
For a spell attack, it should just have there should just be a number on the sheet.
Spell attack plus 6.
Plus
Okay,
6.
So then that's a 17 to hit.
17 just hits.
Nice. And then that's 2d10. My apologies for being so slow.
That's okay. It's not your character.
That is 15
I
points of
accept your
damage.
apology.
15 points of damage. Nice.
Yeah.
And he's primed with fire damage. So let me get that marked up here.
Put our initiatives in.
Hey, I have a quick DM question.
Yes, sir.
If something can only be if something is designated as a bonus action, like a spell, if you've already used a bonus action, can you expend an action to cast it as well, or is it straight up a different
No,
type?
it is what it is. It's if it's an action, you've got to use an action. If it's a bonus action, you've got to use a bonus action.
Word.
There are some systems where they do that, but not in D&D 5e.
I can't believe I've never had to ask that question.
I think you have. I think you just forgot the answer.
That's also
It's-
likely.
It happens.
I'm sure it's come up in previous games because it is a fair question to ask.
I've asked
So,
that question.
I'm sure it's come up before. I think in Pathfinder it works like that, where you can like use an action as a bonus action and like a bonus action as a movement or something. But Pathfinder is a very different thing, and I don't know a whole lot about it.
Everything I want to do is a bonus action.
Okay, you could drive. You can drive the Mako if you'd like to this round.
I'm going to. You just let me know when. You little bitch.
So you driving the Mako?
Is it my turn?
Oh shit!
Well, no, it's the surprise round. So you've got an action, or you can do one thing.
Right. I'm gonna drive the Mako straight at it.
Okay, so Mako's speed is what, 8 or something?
Oh shit! I had this pulled up last time, but I don't this time.
Yes, it's 8. I just had it pulled up because I'm normally the one that keeps track of the Mako stuff.
So you could so 8. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't like the movement rules for the vehicles, so I'm going to do some work on that.
Why is it so slow?
That's what I mean. It's because
run farther than that.
Yeah, the issue is that the vehicles are primarily designed and built for starships, so they make sense in relation to each other. But when you have like infantry and vehicles on the ground, they're a little bit wonky. But I did buy Descent into Avernus, which has some very good vehicle rules, so I'm going to work on incorporating that for our like ground vehicles a little bit more, I think.
Okay.
Because those vehicle rules work a little bit better, I think.
Yeah, because moving 8, that's a slow ass car. What the
Mm-hmm.
hell? Anyway, if I was holding my wait, using your barrier? I think it's a bonus action also.
Barrier is a bonus action, yes.
Okay,
but you can, if you want to do that, that's fine too. You were holding on to that already. That's cool.
Well, I wanted to do other stuff too, but
well, you don't have a. It's a surprise round, so it's limited. It's limited. You don't have like a full turn necessarily.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good with my slow ass
Speaking of,
Speaking of what?
Ray, what did you get for your initiative roll? Could you put that into the Discord, please?
Yes. I got a 12, but I will put it in there.
Okay.
As well.
What's your dexterity score? What's your modifier?
Tis
Sorry.
a 2.
Your dex modifier is only a 2. Okay. All right. So.
Oh,
my charisma's a 4 though.
Charisma Carpenter, what a bamf.
Yo.
My wife's been rewatching Angel. It's awesome.
Oh, and then oops, I forgot to put Torque in there. All right.
Torque.
Get our initiative all ready to go here. So first up is the Behir, then it's Ray, then it's Torque, Alpha and Omega, and McGowan. So Behir is going to go first. It smoking, turns around, and you can see a big, like its whole front left arm is gone.
Yes.
And you can see a big chunk of its neck there, probably where the digesting Tanal was on its way down the digestive tract, has been ripped open kind of in that same place. So there's this huge smoking burned wound on kind of like the front left side beneath its neck. Like the front 2 left limbs, the front one is completely gone. The second one has been pretty horribly mangled. The other front claw doesn't look like it's quite as badly hurt. It still has, but it's very burned, but it's still present. And it kind of turns around and you can see smoke still rising from the wounds. And as it turns around and looks at you and sees the Mako kind of driving out across the snow towards it, McGowan having stepped out kind of in a kneeling position in the snow with the grenade launcher held up, it looks at all of you and lets out like a Jurassic Park T-Rex roar, and dashes towards
Clever girl.
the Mako. It would, because you are the closest thing to it.
This is about to be bad.
So I've got all my stuff in different places. Okay.
All right, I've got the Mako stats pulled up, guys.
Yeah, I need to pull those up too. Aren't there like 2 different pages for it? There's like a weapon. There's
the vehicle rules page, which has all of the actions you can take when you're in a vehicle, and then there's the stat block for the Mako, so it's 2 separate pages, but it's one that's just like the vehicle rules, and the other one is the actual vehicle stat block. And don't forget what we talked about with the guns, how the gun that does the less damage, the machine gun, is a burst fire, so it has an area of effect and a dexterity save instead of an attack roll. Just not that I think that's going to be super useful in this fight, but just remember that.
Did Omega get to take a surprise round?
Omega did go. Yes, he shot an incinerate. That's why the Behir is primed with fire.
Oh yeah.
And also used their surprise round action to detonate.
So yeah, it's going to run up to the Mako as you're coming up there, and it's within melee range of the Mako Torque, and it is going to rear up on kind of its back 4 legs and come down with its remaining front claw and try and like just can opener the Mako.
Oh my god.
With the first attack. So the first attack is a claw. That is going to be a 13. So it'll be the armor class of the Mako. There's no miss. Okay, so the claws, they hit but do superficial damage, just kind of scraping along the metal. And then it's going to take a snapping bite kind of on the cockpit, trying to get its big jaws almost around where you're sitting, Torque. So that second attack is a bite attack. I've got too many tabs open. Not having my actual dice here is screwed me up real bad. I just have this like muscle memory. It's a dirty 20 on the bite attack.
Oh my god.
Damn.
So that's going to do. Well, give me just a second here.
It's okay. Mukau looks so cute right now.
Okay.
Hi, baby.
That is going to be a total of 31 points of damage to the Mako.
Boy, howdy.
As the teeth, as Torque, you see kind of in the canopy above you, you see like 7 or 8 of this thing's big teeth puncture the top metal. They don't touch you at all, but you kind of look up and go, "Oh fuck."
I'm like looking in its mouth. That's crazy.
You said 31 points of damage.
31 points of damage. Yeah, it hasn't like ripped it open, but you can see it's like its jaws are locked onto the cockpit where you're sitting, and you can see some of its teeth on its top jaw have punctured through the ceiling of the driver's cockpit in the Mako. There was already a little bit of damage there from your encounter with the juvenile harvester, where one of its claws kind of went through, but yeah, you can see you can feel it kind of like trying to use the neck muscles to sort of trying to lift the front wheels of the Mako off the ground a little bit. It hasn't done anything like that yet, but you can feel it like it's got its teeth and jaws locked onto the front. That is the end of its turn. So Ray, you're up next.
For the record, Torque is having the time of his life right now.
It's like being in a Tonka truck back on Tachanka fighting a thresher maw.
If I move,
Tonka, yes.
If I move like 2 crates over, would I be able to shoot it kind of in the side or whatever?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a big enough creature. I would say, like, even if you stayed where you were, you'd be able to see enough of it to take a shot because it's big.
Okay.
You know, it's like twice as long as the Mako, and it's sort of reared up right now. So, like, there's a big portion of its like sort of chest, for lack of a better term, that is exposed, kind of reared up above the Mako. So you've got a line of sight for now, no matter where you're standing back there.
I'm trying to remember if I have a card or not.
It would be in our Discord. It would be in the Discord between you and I if you have one. It would probably be like the last message I sent to you, honestly, if you have one in there.
Yeah. My brain is just not working right now. Anyway. Okay, so
kick it into gear, lady.
I'm gonna try and shoot at Jason, Chris.
Take a shot. Do whatever you're gonna do. I don't want to speak for you.
I will. It's a natural 20.
Nice. So go ahead so maximum weapon damage plus a damage roll.
I'm waiting for that shit, by the way. I've been rolling like shit for 2 games.
Only add the modifier once though.
The what?
So it's
my modifier?
Yep. Only add your damage modifier once. It's one max die, 1 die roll plus the modifier.
Yes.
Because I think a critical hit should be a critical hit. They should do a shitload of damage, and it goes both ways. Any benefits my players benefit from, the enemies also benefit from, just to be clear, because some people do kind of like mix and match a little bit.
Do have to make your con saving throw.
I do, and what do I need for that?
13.
Okay. That's a 14.
Okay. Is And then okay, so that is 20 points of damage total.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Nice.
So that shot rips through the kind of another section of the like neck that's exposed as it's sort of thrashing with the Mako there. You kind of line your rifle shot up, kind of resting your elbows on the bale of hay in front of you. You line your eye up to the scope, squeeze the trigger, and this loud crack echoes out of the opening in the barn walls, and you watch through the scope ray as a spray of sort of dark blue blood mists out as your bullet pierces through. It doesn't. Something happens where it malfunctions a little bit, and the like sort of diver's knife sort of like spreading lacerating barbs don't extend, but you've still done a good chunk of damage to this thing with that one shot.
Nice.
And you can see it like roars and kind of rears and reacts.
I was gonna ask though, does it release the Mako?
It does not release
because
the
of
Mako
the nat
yet.
20. Oh.
It's not. The Mako isn't like grappled. Like Torque could still drive it.
Wait,
it was mostly flavor. It was flavor for the attack.
I'm still moving though.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. You can still move. Yeah. You're not pinned down or anything. It was just bit down. You didn't have to do. There's no grappling or restraining or anything there. It was just like a flavor. Okay. Anything else for you, Ray?
No, I reload and duck down slightly, get my 3/4 cover.
All right, nice. All right, so while you've got 3/4, you've got a +5 to your armor class.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, cover is super important in this. Well, probably not quite as much when you're fighting a giant clawed monster, but for the gunfights, super important. Okay, so next up is Torque.
So, I have a question.
Yes.
First, before I forget, I'm going to use a bonus action to use a stim pack.
You met a Joe?
No. It's an ability that I have.
Oh, okay, right. One of your combat abilities. Okay.
Nice.
What does the stim pack do again? I don't think we've used it very much.
For the next minute, whenever I make an attack roll or saving throw, I can add a d4 and add the number roll to the attack roll or saving throw.
Nice.
Pretty sick.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Very Krogan too. I like it.
Yeah, just like know that you're going into battle.
Just give me more.
While he's driving the Mako at this fucking creature, he's like, yeah!
I love it.
And I noticed. So what I was sort of like trying to hash out with you before is that the Mako wouldn't like move and then stop, right?
No, yeah, it's continuous moving.
So yeah,
it's sort of the tricky thing with the turn-based thing is that like everything that's happening in one turn is actually sort of happening at exactly the same time.
Right. So basically, I'm at speed. I'm just gonna keep driving straight at the thing.
All right. So for this, because you're gonna keep driving straight at it, but it's technically still kind of like.
There's no mechanic for ramming something with the
Yeah. So what we'll do is I'll make a dexterity saving throw at disadvantage because you're so close. For the Behir, and we'll say what's your vehicle handling modifier?
Not very good. Hold on.
We'll do the vehicle handling modifier.
Oh, I'm +2.
Plus, what's the armor class of the Mako?
16.
16. Okay, so we'll say it has to beat. We'll do a DC 18 dexterity saving throw to avoid being hit by the Mako.
Yeah, suck it.
So it's got a dexterity of +3. All right, let's do a roll. Or we got to do 2 rolls. Sorry, disadvantage. Disadvantage is a 16, so it just manages to succeed. I will say
What? You said it had to beat an 18.
Sorry, you're right. 18. My mistake. Yes. 18. 18. I was gonna do 16, but then I did 18, and I got my numbers confused. 18, so it fails.
18.
So you hit it, and your speed is 8, correct? So we'll say for damage, go ahead and roll 3d8.
All right.
Just since we're improvising this off the cuff, your Mako's not at going at top speed, but you're right there, so you can hit him hard if you gun it a little bit.
12 damage.
12 damage. Poof, crashes into it. It's a big creature. You probably it would have been very, very unlikely that you were gonna kill or seriously cripple this thing anyways with the Mako, but that's a good impact, and it kind of sends it reeling back, sort of having to take a few steps to regain its balance, and you manage to sort of shake its teeth loose from the canopy. So 81.
And I move ahead 8.
Have we shot
Yeah.
the gun there?
I'll say that we pushed you pushed the Behir back half your movement, because you're using the movement to sort of impact it.
Hell yeah.
So we'll put the Mako 1, 2, 3, 4 there. So then the Behir is back this way. All right, and I gotta do some math here. All right, yeah, this thing is looking quite injured. It's not near death, but you had the massive grenade bombs that went off. Ray got in an excellent shot, and you've just now smashed into it with the Mako. It's taken a pretty decent chunk of damage. Next up is Alpha and Omega. So Alpha's on the gun. Omega's back by you, McGowan. Omega's here for the viewers at home. Alpha is down here.
I just want to take 1 second to say how proud I am that this plan is going well.
It's going quite
Yeah,
well.
for real.
Alpha's just gonna.
Alpha's gonna what?
You hear me?
You cut out a little
Alpha's
bit.
gonna shoot the gun.
Okay, he's which one? The Mac cannon?
All right.
Daddy Mac Cannon. That sounds like a
should-
rapper.
Yes.
Yeah, the mass accelerator. Okay, so he
Cool.
swivels the gun into position, and the two sort of metallic,
Yes.
the sort of two magnetized strips on either side of kind of the inside of the barrel start to charge up as it fires this projectile.
Yeah.
It's only a 9.
9, that is going to be a miss.
No!
Kind of shooting just off to the side. Torque, you can feel the wheels and the suspension of the Mako rock with the force of the cannon as it fires. But that is a miss, unfortunately.
God, I love that.
It's almost a little too close range for the gun to be super effective. Okay, it's Omega's turn, and then you're up, McGowan.
Omega's gonna skid around to that hay bale over there.
This one here.
No, the other one.
This one. Okay, yeah,
Other way.
that's
Yes.
within his movement for sure.
And shoot another incinerate.
Okay, this one will detonate if it hits. Because incinerate is a
Natural
prime and a
20.
detonate. Nice! Holy shit!
Oh my
The,
God.
the
Fuck
detonator,
over here, bro.
the detonator damage isn't doubled, but the
Okay.
regular attack damage is still doubled. Yes.
So I'm gonna have to figure out how all these
Yep.
here
So
powers
I'll get you the detonator info real quick while you primed fire.
So I will,
That's awesome.
Each creature within a 10-foot radius, including the prime target, catch fire, taking 1d6 fire damage. Each creature continues to burn for 1 minute. So this guy, hasn't been the end of a round yet, so he hasn't taken the damage yet. A creature that is on fire can use its action to put out the fire.
Just a big handy lizard, like. I thought it was funny.
Yeah. So. Yep. So when it detonates, it does fire damage to everybody in radius, and that would be including the Mako in this instance. But
No!
it's 1d6 fire damage at the start of your turn, so it's really not a hold.
It said creatures though. It didn't. It said creatures.
The thing is, I would still say that it would affect the Mako, because the Mako is. It's not like it's not going to get hit.
I have shields.
The Mako has shields. We've already established in our games that fire bypasses shields.
Oh, okay.
Sure did.
I'm on fire.
So that's 2d10.
So that's
automatically 20 damage.
Automatically 20.
Because of the natural 20.
Yep.
Plus the spell attack.
Yep.
So that's 27.
27 points of damage
plus 4 for I rolled 4 for damage, so 31 points of damage.
31 points of damage. Holy buckets. That is another big explosion.
Damn.
Dang. Omega and Ray are really the MVPs of this fight right now as far as the damage goes. Well, I mean, they got 2 nat 20s, man. Ray got a nat 20 on a fucking sniper shot, and that was the second big incinerate. This thing is looking very badly wounded after that. So as the second incinerate, this orb of superheated orange plasma kind of belches its way forth from Omega's mouth and strikes the Behir, which is already still has from the previous incinerate kind of little tendrils of flame kind of licking off of places on its scales. The second incinerate hits, and those small tendrils of flame erupt into a gout, and the kind of whole front quarter or a third of the Behir is just very momentarily consumed in flames. And as the light and the fire dies down, there's smoke rising off it. The scales have been blackened. Some of them are burned and twisted, and this thing is looking very, very badly wounded.
Yeah, it is.
McGowan, your turn.
I'm gonna move up a little
Where
bit.
to?
I'm just gonna move straight north. Just like another 10 feet, yeah. Right
That's as far as you could go without dashing.
Okay, then that's good. I'm gonna shoot it again with my grenade launcher.
All right, grenade shoots off. Is that a dex save for me?
Yeah, 14.
14. That's a 23.
Okay, so I still do half damage. Come on, something good. Nope, nothing good. 4 damage. God damn.
4 points of damage. Another grenade hits it. It's almost like, in this instance, the incinerate kind of just sucks all the oxygen out of the air. So when the grenade explodes, there's not a lot of explosion to go along with it. There's force of impact and the discharge of kinetic energy, but there's no real flame to go along with it, as the incinerate pretty much drowns all of that out. But again, this thing is looking very, very badly hurt. Badly injured. What is it? Badly wounded. I sort of have a scale for tracking that. If you guys pay attention, I'm trying to get more consistent about it. But if you guys pay attention, I'll try and kind of be consistent about what words I use to describe enemies in combat at sort of what.
Oh, I'm always on that shit.
Yeah, what kind of level that they're at, and I've got a note card with actual sort of classifications for that written down, but I sometimes I forget to look at it.
Get on with it.
Get on with it.
Can I fucking say what I've been trying to say?
No.
McGowan's going to say he's very annoyed at how ineffective this grenade launcher has been. Is going to use his free action to unequip it and just go, fuck this.
All right. Easy enough.
So that's what I'm going to do.
All right. Behir is up next.
Do your worst.
It's gonna try and go for. Let's see here. It could go for the Mako. I think it's just gonna go for the Mako again. I can't really see why it would change its target. So what it's gonna do.
God, this was a good plan.
This turn is it's gonna try and tail whip the Mako for its first attack. Uh, 13 is gonna hit but do no damage. The tail just bouncing off the metal plates, and it's gonna come and get down again with another bite attack.
Do your worst.
That's a 16.
Ties.
So that
That's the only class.
that will beat it. So it does do damage. So the bite is gonna do 15 points of damage this time as it kind of chomps down again. And I'm actually gonna roll a d4 real quick just to see something.
Oh. See if it breaks a tooth.
No.
That's you.
No, I'm gonna do a d6 actually. I'm gonna do a d6. That front left wheel on the Mako is gonna need fixing because as it comes down for the second bite, the teeth of the lower jaw sink into the thick rubber of that tire and shred it as it bites down. So the Mako didn't take a whole ton of damage, but it did because of the cumulative damage. You're going to need to replace that front tire.
The systems are reporting inside the Mako like. Bring, 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 bring.
Yeah, you've got a little readout on your terminal, and
You're
you
just
can
laughing.
see like the canopy. The canopy is kind of like a yellow. You know, most of the Mako is like a nice sort of happy light blue color. The front of it, there's a couple little spots where there are still there's still damage from the harbinger, not the harbinger, the harvester. The canopy has got kind of like a yellow color flashing up on it, and that front left wheel is flashing red, just gone. Okay, Rhea, you're up next.
Okay,
When is it my turn?
we gonna do it again. This is so bad.
Take another shot, or whatever you want to do.
This is gonna be so bad because we rolled a 20 last time, so it's not.
It's gonna be a 20 again. It's gonna be so good.
I'm just going to kill it right now. It's going to die.
Okay. It's a 17.
17, that hits.
Yes! We are not missing the goal. Except for
All right,
that
make
one.
your con save, DC 13. Okay.
That's 15.
15, so you beat it, but you do take another 15 points of damage.
Wow.
Sorry, 11. I'm sorry, 11.
11, okay. That's all right.
You said 15, and then my brain said 15.
Yeah, again, this thing it's very badly wounded. I wouldn't go so far as to say it's like, well, I would say it's near death depending on what you hit it with.
Yeah. Since we're bringing out the big guns.
Still dangerous, and it's very aggressive. So it's not really showing any signs of backing down. It is determined to show its dominance.
It also takes ignite damage.
Takes what damage?
Sorry.
Fire damage?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and roll for me.
Is that what do I roll for that?
It's a D6, I believe.
D6.
Should I roll for the Mako too?
Yeah, roll for the Mako. Well, no, it would be the same for.
Yeah.
It's the same amount of damage for either one.
Okay.
Well, it's 1 damage, so you know.
One.
I'm
point of
rolling
fire
terrible tonight.
Yeah, you're not having a very good
No,
time.
you got a 20. Don't worry.
It's true.
I got 120, and then I got a shitload of ones and stuff.
It happens that way. Yes. Okay. Primed fire.
Because I can't find my actual dice.
Yeah, we're not at 5th level yet, so it's still just 1d6. Okay.
I totally forgot about this thing I should have done a while ago, but since it's still the end of my turn, can I use as a bonus action, my Kawashi visor and sight in on the creature?
Yeah, sure. What does that do again?
It's just for the next minute, I deal an extra 1d6 damage to that target if I hit it. And I also have advantage on wisdom or, perception or survival checks that I make to find it.
Okay.
That doesn't really matter, but.
Sure.
I just wanted that little extra d6, you know?
Yeah, no, that's great. So then it's Torque's turn.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Wait, does she
No,
get to roll the
that
D6
visor
or
was
no?
a good pick. That visor was a really good pick.
Does she get to roll the D6 or no?
No, that's as a bonus. I should have done it
after.
before.
It's like the hunter's mark problem where you always forget to do it until after you've shot. It's the same thing. So Torque, your turn.
All right. So Torque is what's the logo that's on the Behir right now?
That's Ray's marker. It's just for her.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do is use my bonus action to cast Biotic Slash on my Warhammer.
Okay.
And then I'm going to draw it and run at the beast.
The cockpit is closed on the Mako.
No!
Yeah, it's like a lunar rover. It's meant to be like airtight, so you can drive it on planets with no atmosphere.
No, but I want to get out.
Okay, it'll be a little bit of your movement to get out. Okay, so we'll say it's like 4 meters of your movement to get out.
Okay, I still have enough movement to get up to it.
Yep, and then you can run up to it, and I'll say it's a free action to open the door since it's just kind of it's a button and it just opens up. So no action to open the door.
Wait. What would we have to say for me to climb on top of the Mako?
That would be that's going to okay. So let me think about that. That would be, I would say, go ahead and just make like an athletics or an acrobatics check to climb up on top of it as you're kind of getting out.
Do I get to choose? Because I think
Yeah.
I have a +6 to athletics, so we're gonna do that.
Yeah, you have a super acrobatic Krogan.
19.
19, easy enough. Yeah, you pull yourself out. The Mako's parked there, and you can haul yourself up on top of the Mako, heft your hammer, and you cast Biotic Slash as a bonus action.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'll say if you're gonna climb up on top of it.
No, don't get my emotion.
I'll let you have the turn. I'll let you have it. It's fine. You still have your action. Normally, I'd say if you're gonna climb, that would be an action, but I don't want to like rain on your parade too much. So.
Don't tell me not to live.
Things are going well, and we're all having a good time. So let's just keep that going. Huh?
Yay! I'm gonna hit it in the face with a hammer.
Okay, I will say
Streisand,
that would be something where you have to like run and kind of jump at it. Well, you could stand on the very end of the Mako and do it. That's fine. Yeah, you can just stand on the end of it and take a swing.
Okay, yeah, I don't know how tall it is really, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's like looming over you. The Mako, you're probably, like, the Mako is probably like 10, 12 feet from the bottom of the wheels to the top of the ceiling. So your head is probably like 18 feet up off the ground right now. Like 17 or 18 feet up off the ground. So you're kind of looking this thing like right in the eyes almost.
Epic! Alright, I hit it with my biotic slash, so it's like a blue
Just
glowing
fucking
warhammer.
Nice. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
So my attack roll gets
Plus 1d4.
plus 1d4 to it. It doesn't even need it.
What?
So I get 19 plus 3 plus more.
Yeah, that hits. That hits.
What is it? My strength?
No, it would be, it's your strength plus proficiency added on top of your d20.
Yeah, I hit it by a lot. So 19 plus 3, 22 plus 4, 27.
And then plus whatever you would get on the d4. Yeah, so you definitely hit.
That, but yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, you definitely hit.
Sick. So that's 2d6 and 2d8 damage.
Nice. Yep, the biotic slash is essentially the ME5E equivalent of smite. So he gets to stack a whole bunch of damage on top of it. It's pretty rad.
Kill it, kill it, kill it.
I rolled 4 die, and the highest roll that I got was a 2 for a total
Oh no!
6 damage.
Oh no!
Dude, that's been my night.
You were just so
Don't give this to
excited
me.
that you just kind of like.
I thought I was gonna fucking deal a death blow standing on the roof
you
of
still,
the Mako.
hey, you still might, man. You still might. Yeah. So as you
You,
kind
like-
of stand up and roar as you cast the biotic slash and swing your hammer at the same time, it kind of rears up and you strike it across the bottom jaw, but it's just kind of a glancing blow, not enough to do any serious damage, and it kind of manages to dodge the worst of the impact. Through no weakness of your own, it was just a little. It reacted just a little too fast.
2d8 and I did 3 damage with it.
Dude, you could have killed it if you'd rolled really well. You could have killed it.
Don't tell me that.
You could still do it.
Oh!
I'm just saying. What I'm trying to say is that was a fucking sweet move.
I'm so
It was-
angry.
Is it an inspiration worthy move?
I
yeah,
thought
why,
I did so.
yeah, why
pretty-
not? Why not? You can't use it to re-roll anything just now, but
Yeah, I'll put that in the bank.
go ahead and take an inspiration die for that, because that was a really cool character thing.
Oh, I can't believe I just threw my pencil. I probably just broke the lead core in it. Fuck.
Yeah.
All right. Next up is Alpha and Omega.
Where did you even go?
So Alpha is going to shoot the gun. I'm
Go for
assuming
it.
I can shoot over toward.
Yeah. Well, because for one, the sidecar, like the sidecar, it's like a kind of a sidecar almost. So it's actually kind of like off, kind of hanging over those back two right wheels.
Holy shit! Why can I not fucking roll anything? I got a 10.
Oh no! Yeah, that's a miss.
Normally I would just turn around and use my inspiration, but I want the killing blow.
Yeah, no, you earned it, so you do it.
All right.
Alpha's going to use their movement to get out
Okay.
and skitter behind the. I guess I was thinking the other side. But yeah,
Well, this is the side the car is on.
okay.
So I
Yeah.
guess you can jump out and like run
Yeah.
across the roof or whatever and jump down. That's fine.
No, I don't want him on that side. I wanted him on the other side.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and hide behind the hay bales. Just to take cover behind the hay bales.
Okay.
Yes.
Omega.
Omega doing the old incinerate again.
He has had luck with it.
Yeah,
Get it, get it, get it.
Not a natural 20, but pretty good. That's the wrong character. Yeah, it's a 22 to hit.
That'll hit.
Grab my chips. Ow.
Is that right? Is that the right? Okay, 2d10. So another 15 points of damage.
Nice. That is near death.
Death?
Not dead yet. Very close. Another incinerate strikes out. Burns yet more of the Behir, which is at this point just a sort of amalgamation of burned flesh and teeth and claws. Horrifically wounded by the gunshots, the flames, the explosion. This thing is staggering and limping and kind of walking off center, and it's looking very, very, very weak, very near death. McGowan, your turn.
Oh shit, dude.
I'm gonna equip my Typhoon.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just gonna open fire.
Go for it.
Take a shot at this dude.
Just a giant machine gun.
Okay.
Unloading.
Okay. So that's a 21 to hit.
That will hit.
Oh my god, yes.
And then that's what.
Just like so fed up with not hitting anything, just dead eyes. Yeah.
And I do add my dex and proficiency to the damage roll, correct?
Yep, you always
That's
add it to both.
That's going to be 18 points of damage.
18 points of damage. Describe your killing shot, sir.
You bastard!
So you said that its neck was kind of tore up, right?
Yeah, the front left arm is gone, and kind of the area around that has been burned away and blasted out by the explosion from the grenades.
Yeah, I just what I can see of that wound from where I'm standing, I just point my gun and open fire and just rip it to shreds.
Yeah, and you do. A lot of that flesh is already exposed and torn away, and Torque, you're standing up there getting ready to take another swing at it when it rears up to attack you, and just before it comes down with its teeth to try and swallow you, about 5 or 6 shots just rip through the thing's neck, and it rears back even further and roars in pain, and kind of the whole top half of its body sways as it screams in agony, and it sort of staggers backwards on its legs, sort of wobbling and uneven, almost like it's drunk. And it gives one last kind of convulsion and cry of pain before it just falls to the ground, kicking up a huge cloud of snow as the body hits the powder. The dark blue blood sort of seeping from the wounds, and as you can see, its limbs kind of just, and its tail just still sort of reflexively twitching in those death throes as it lies there dead.
As it's like rearing its head up to like come down and bite me, I'm just like screaming into its open mouth like ah! And then it just gets torn up with bullets and falls to the ground.
And you get a little bit of spray on you there, Torque. A little bit of blood kind of hits your face and head plate.
Yeah.
It crushes that tree, just falls onto the tree, splintering it. And the Goru Behir lies slain.
So, I jump off the
We
nose.
did it!
I jump off the nose of the Mako and just have like a bunch of like blood and guts in my face, and I like grab it all off and like slop it onto the ground and just look at McGowan and say, "You!" And then I charge him. And
Okay.
I take aim at him.
Oh my god. Rhea's
no.
watching all of this through her scope. She's like, what the fuck?
And I just smack his gun out of the way and like pick him up and like bear hug him and go, "Ah, that was my kill."
Hello, going.
And then I drop him, and Torque is just fucking stoked. He's like running circles, like fucking.
Yeah, Rhea lowers her gun and comes to join them, like, to, you know, be excited.
Much more suavely. If suavely is a word, I don't know if suavely is a word.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say it is.
Gracefully,
Slavish.
more poised.
Yeah, kind of reserved. She's very excited, but she's like, she's trying to kind of keep it down.
She's like, now, we still have a lot to do. But then they turn away and she's like,
I look back at them, and I'm like, I'm gonna go see what shape the skull is in. I'm gonna run over to it.
oh,
Right.
for some reason I thought you literally meant like what shape it's in. I was like, why?
Like a lizard. I don't know.
Ooh, it's a nice trapezoidal.
Looking at
shape.
the outside of it, Torque, just kind of just taking a cursory glance at it as you walk up. The head, there wasn't too much damage to the head. Most of it was focused around the kind of upper torso. But the head doesn't seem to be too badly damaged. It does have some burn marks and stuff on it, but there you do also notice that a couple of the teeth that like bit into the Mako have broken off. But the horns are perfectly intact, and there's plenty of teeth that are in excellent shape if you wanted to take some trophies.
Oh, fuck a tooth, man. I start cutting it off at the spine at the base of its skull.
Okay. Just so the head is like the size of like a compact car. Just so you know, the head is huge. The head is like as bigger than you are. But you can certainly go ahead and make a survival check just to see how nice of a job you do.
No,
You could make like a little like puka tooth necklace, that Torque wears.
No, I'll go with your idea. I'm gonna see if I can just yank out a tooth.
Yeah, that's go ahead for that. That's still a survival check, but it's go ahead and just see what happens.
I would also like a tooth if you want to rip out two.
I didn't roll very well.
What'd you get?
9.
I mean, it's extracting a big tooth, so you get the teeth, but there's the kind of like the bottom, the nub of it. You don't really do a very good job of extracting that very cleanly. So the base of the teeth that you take are still covered in blood and like mangled gums, and they're not pretty. They'll need some cleaning.
My thing is skulls, but this time we just got a tooth. So here you go.
I would say that this isn't. There's a really cool modification you could make to your Mako here by mounting the horns on it if you wanted to do that.
Put the fucking head on it. Oh no, we can't.
Yeah.
Just turn into a Mad Max war wagon.
Yeah.
My first instinct was to take the horns.
So
If you want to take the
that
horns,
would
you
be
can.
fun.
That's another survival check just to see how
I would
long
also-
it takes, basically.
Can I collect like a vial of blood, like a small jar's worth of its blood?
Yeah, I'd say you could have a little glass vial or something on you that you could put that in. That's
I don't know.
fine.
She's weird like that.
Yeah, just some sentimental.
It probably like
stuff.
used to have cyanide in it, and she's like, ooh.
23 in total for the.
Oh yeah, the horns are much easier. They're bigger. They're bigger for your thick Krogan fingers to work with, and you're able to kind of. I would say over the course of like a little over an hour, you're able to remove the scales and kind of cut off the part of the skull with the horns. So you've got like this nice horn rack that's probably like.
Nice rack.
that's probably like 7 feet across. You know, it's this nice, big, impressive set of kind of big curled ram's horns. You know, like kind of curly mountain goat style horns.
Is there any way to like use my Omni tool to contact, like do like a group call with the woman in town and like the doctor?
You didn't get any Omni tool like contact information for the.
They didn't accept your friend request.
For her name is escaping me for some fucking reason.
I think I had a good guess.
Sixus.
Yeah.
You don't have any personal contact information for Sixus, but you do for Doc Irawak, the vet.
Okay.
Doc Irawak, the Batarian veterinarian, you mean?
Yes. Sorry, Doc Irawak, the Batarian veterinarian.
McGowan also wants to take a tooth for himself and maybe Alpha if he wants it, but I don't want to make that decision for.
Okay, well, I'd say Torque could have done that for you if you wanted him to. That's fine. You can do it all at once, or if you want to do it separately, you can as well.
What does McGowan do when I offer him one of my messily extracted teeth?
Still sort of like clutching his chest, like from when you hugged him, he takes it, and then he takes out his Omni tool, or he like activates his Omni tool and starts like cleaning up the messy bottom, like cutting the gums off and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I basically wanted to make a video call to just like someone, and like once I'm finished extracting the horns, I want to hold them over my head and do like a selfie.
Nice, yeah, easy enough. I mean, you could probably you could take a pic. You can always take a quick pic of it and send it. Till you have Rhea do it or somebody.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna make McGowan take one of me too, where Torque, you have to hold them up, and then we'll force perspective so it looks like they're on her. She'll be like, yeah, like one of those.
Yeah, but I take both of the photos and I'm like, these are really good, but wait, do we want to ruin the surprise, or do we want to just bring the horns back and honk the horn on the Mako?
Let's just put the horns on the Mako and roll into town.
Yeah, let's just tuck those pictures away for a rainy day for us.
Yeah. To remember the moment.
Does the Mako...
Sorry, go ahead.
Does the Mako have like any cameras built in?
Not this one. This one has had a lot of those extra features stripped out of it because it's just so janky.
No dash cam.
But they have things like that. They're like more standard ones have features like that. Yeah, that are they're exploratory vehicles primarily, so they are equipped with those things. But a lot of those features no longer work on yours, sadly.
I bet Alpha and Omega could probably like get a little metal and weld them onto the front, like.
Yeah, I mean, you have 2 buildings to look through that might have something you could use in there. The Behir certainly didn't seem like the kind of creature that needed, sort of basic amenities or anything. It just would come around to eat food. So if there might be something you could use in the barn or something like that.
Can I roll like a perception or investigation?
I would say an investigation check. And which building would you like to search, Rhea? And if there's anybody else searching the other building, you can roll as well.
If I'm looking for metal, I think I'm gonna look in the barn versus the house.
Sure, go ahead and investigation check.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. This is good. Investigation 2. Oh, so dirty 20.
18, easy enough. Yeah, I mean, you don't even really have to spend too much time looking. You go back there. You saw previously kind of a workstation in the back, and you go back there and kind of start moving boxes and toolboxes and stuff out of the way, and you find a coil of kind of old-fashioned hempen rope, and you also find a spool of metal wire.
Sick. I bring it back out and I ask Alpha and Omega if they have any idea for how we could or if they could attach the horns with this material.
Yeah, it looks like it would be serviceable. You know, like you want to, it's even, especially just for like the drive back to town.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would work for sure.
Does
All
Alpha
right,
know if
sweet.
it would
And I help him out.
work?
What was that?
Oh, nothing. But McGowan's going to want to start working on that wheel.
Ah, okay. Um, are you looking for something to replace it with?
Yeah, or something to maybe patch it, or
Well, patching it is going to be a futile gesture.
okay.
This is a semi truck tire that is blown on the road. It is shredded.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah. Then I'll look for something to replace it with.
um. You find a stack of spare tires. Like, go ahead and make an investigation check. Sorry.
Fucking balls, dude.
What you got?
4.
Yeah, you. There's the truck that's just over yonder. But quick look at that. The tires aren't big enough. You find and you find some other tires, but they look like they're all spares for the trucks that are here on the farm. None of them are going to fit the Mako. I mean, the Mako does have 6 wheels,
Yeah, I was
so
gonna say.
it can probably make a short drive. It can probably drive on 5, but you're going to have if you get into a hairy situation, you'll be driving a little bit slower. You know, it's not going to be as quick to react, and the handling isn't going to be as good. But you can still drive it.
Wait.
Okay.
My idea would be to take, because the front left wheel burst, right?
Yep.
We would take the middle left wheel and move it up to the front left.
Sure.
Yeah, I would say you can do that. Yeah, your Omni tools can basically make any basic tools that you need. It can be used as that, so you don't need to really look for too many tools. I will say it'd probably take another hour of work because these are big, like, monster truck tires, so they're very heavy. And so you have to remove the remains of the shredded tire, take off the second one, and put on the third one. So it's going to take you a little bit over an hour. So all in all, between all of this stuff, we'll say you've been here for about 3 hours after the fight.
So while McGowan is sort of fixing that tire, I'm gonna go up to I don't know who is where while that's happening.
Where what is happening?
Yeah, who? Torque is asking who's doing what, basically, where people are.
I would just approach.
I'm helping attach the horns.
I would just approach Rhea and like pull up my Omni tool and be like, check this out, and then I play body cam footage of when I hit the Behir in the face with a hammer.
You know, that would be an absolutely amazing clip if it was the killing shot.
Ah! I wish I would have hit him. I just needed a little bit more connection.
Sometimes there's something to be said about taking a deep breath before you swing the hammer.
Don't tell me how to swing my hammer, and then he like hops down off of the Mako.
She continues attaching the horns to the thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say during that time, Ray, while they're swapping out the tire, you're able to do that too. It's you just kind of like you strap it down and tie it down kind of to the front, keeping it out of the way of the kind of the moving parts, and out of the way of the viewport in the front there. But it's an easy enough job to tie it down for a short drive, and at the end of the 3 hours, you've switched your tire over. And I'd say that doesn't require any Omni gel since you're not trying to fabricate like replacement pieces or anything.
Yeah.
That's just physical, just manual labor, moving the tire. The Behir's body grows cold in that time as kind of the blood from its wounds begins just kind of it seeps out into the snow, melting it and kind of refreezing and turning into this patch of kind of darkened, slightly glossy, frozen slush of blood and dirt and snow. You guys get a couple pictures. You have Omega take a picture of all four of you, like kind of the classic hunting pose. McGowan, you're standing up on its neck, kind of like holding its head. Torque and Ray, you're both posing really cool in front of it. You guys get some sweet hunting pictures of your kill.
Alpha's kneeling like a hunting dog.
Yep, exactly. It's like an old timey explorer's picture of like when they would when they would hunt lions and stuff.
I've got the tooth hanging like a fish.
Yep. Somebody's somebody's kind of standing next to the Mako. You get a couple good pictures of the Mako with the horns on the front. Yeah, you guys get a lot of sweet pictures of the whole rig, and before long you guys are ready to take off. It is 2:00 in the morning right now.
Dang.
However, and you guys are feeling pretty tired now that you've had a few hours to come down from the fight, collect yourselves, kind of take care of some post-fight maintenance and investigations. You guys are realizing like we've had a very long day. You had a rest in Sorrow, but that was after driving all morning. And then spending, all after, most of the afternoon and the evening out making preparations and stuff.
Yeah.
So you can either take a rest here or you can make the drive back to Sorrow and see if you can find some place to stay there. It's up to you guys. But you're feeling pretty tired, and I'll say if you guys push on too much longer without taking a long rest, you will get a point of exhaustion.
Is it possible for us to stay in the Mako to be warmer? Because if we stay here, it's going to be cold.
I'd say yeah, it'll be very snug, especially with Torque in there, because he's usually out on the sidecar on the gunner seat. But yeah, for the purposes of just like resting, yeah, you can do it. You won't be able to drive because it's just there's not enough room.
No.
But yeah, you could all sort of pack yourselves into the Mako.
Would we get a point of exhaustion just for driving back to the town?
I'd say at this point, yeah, because you guys have been up for almost half a day, and you've been awake for over half a day, and you had a very long fight, or a grueling fight, not a long fight, but a grueling one. And one point of exhaustion, honestly, again, the situation you guys in, unless you have some chance encounter on the road, it's probably not going to be too big of a deal. Because all it'll take is a long rest to remove it. But I guess it's just something to think about, because we haven't really had to deal with it a lot in our home games, exhaustion. So just want to be upfront about it, I guess.
I mean, we had a place to stay in Sorrow, right?
No, you guys crashed. You guys had taken like your rest in the Mako, I think, before, because there's no hotels there. It's a farming town.
Yeah.
Okay. If they need something, somebody brings it to them, or they go get it from Port Volstone.
Yeah.
There's no tourist kind of infrastructure there.
Our options are sleep in the Mako now or sleep in the Mako when we get there. So I say we sleep in the Mako now.
Yeah. I agree.
Okay. Easy enough. You guys want to take watches, I presume? That won't detract from your long rest.
Yeah. McGowan will take first watch.
Okay. And I mean, just for the sake of brevity, unless there's anything you guys want to talk about on your watches, or transitioning between them, we can just say you have an uneventful long rest. And when you wake up, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. And I would like McGowan to please roll me a d8.
Oh, fun.
Jay.
What will the weather be?
4.
4. When you wake up, you all kind of wake up at the same time because you feel a cold breeze on your cheeks coming in through the holes in the canopy of the Mako. And you look out and everything is just whitewashed. While you were who was on the last watch? So the way I do my watches for viewers, and because this is a new group and we haven't really had to deal with this a lot, I do watches. It can be negotiated as well, but the way I like to do it is 4 2-hour watch periods. That way everybody can sleep for at least 6 hours and get a good long rest out of it.
Let's say it was Alpha and Omega.
Okay, so Alpha and Omega would have seen the blizzard move in, starting as a light snow, getting heavier and heavier and heavier as the minutes pass, until only about 10 meters in front of the vehicle is visible. Everything else is what is whitewashed out. You can tell it's daylight out because everything's got that sort of gray over quality to it, that sort of gray light that sort of just dampens all the color, completely obscures the sun in a way where you can see no sign of it other than there's light coming from somewhere beyond the cloud cover. But there's no hostile threats, just a very heavy snow. And for the purposes of game mechanics, this counts as being heavily obscured, so you have disadvantage on perception checks using sight.
Okay.
This is heavily obscured. You count as being blinded, so disadvantage on perception checks using sight. Let me get the full condition out here. So you can still see, but it's just very, very difficult. Unfortunately, this didn't happen until after your fight, because if you'd had obscured vision during the fight with the Behir, that may have complicated things a bit. Yeah. So blinded, you can't see, and you automatically fail any ability check that requires sight. And attack rolls against you have advantage, and your attack rolls have disadvantage while you're blinded. So that's for everybody right now.
Do we have any sort of navigation with the Mako?
The Mako has navigation, and you can see, but it's just you have to drive slow, and it's like driving in a bad snowstorm here. You're not like immobilized, but there's risk involved.
I know,
but it doesn't feel great.
The Minnesotan in me was like, but the car still moves, right?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
We're going 25 on the highway, but we're going to get there.
The car still starts, so I mean...
Let's keep going.
Yeah. It has big wheels, huh?
Yeah, let's do it. Very slowly.
Yeah, the half-hour drive it took you to get out here takes another hour and a half, just creeping along, trying not to. I mean, you know that there's not a lot in the way out here, but there is the odd farm, like the odd farmhouse, out in this place, and so you don't really want to run into those. Go ahead. Let's see. This would be. Everybody will make a perception check. McGowan and Torque, you guys, it's visual perception, so it's you automatically fail, so you guys can't see. So this is on you, Ray, to guide people. So I need you to go ahead and make an electronics check as you're reading your scanner.
Can I roll again? Because I thought I had to roll for perception.
Yes.
Fine.
And Alpha.
Yes.
I was gonna say
Alpha is on the
Well, that's not even that much better.
Alpha's on the Electronics Warfare Suite.
6.
6. Yeah, it takes a while for you guys to get back. You have a couple of close calls where you almost run into like the odd shed that's just kind of out in the fields.
I'm doing my best.
There's no.
She's just kind of panicking.
Fortunately, there's no.
on this station.
There's no property damage, but it's a very slow drive, and so it does take you, the better part of 2 hours to get back into town. And by then, it's just before midday, so it's like 12 o'clock here, and it's still blizzarding when you arrive. Still snowing quite heavily, and when you pull into town, you don't see any movement. It seems like everybody's staying inside for now, trying to avoid the bad weather.
No, we lost Dan.
Uh-oh. Dangnol.
Dagnols.
Oh, there he is.
Daniel.
It just disconnected me, but
Yeah, you have Dan Erler's network bandwidth is low. Oh, we might lose him again.
you can hear me.
Kind of can hear you. Your camera's not doing anything though. That's all right. We're wrapping up. We're wrapping up here. So as long as we can get through this stuff, we'll be fine. So yeah, pulling into town, you don't see anything. It is the way you left it. There's nobody around really. But yeah, you guys says, well, I say there's nobody around at first, but as you kind of pull in,
alone now.
but as you pull into the town square, you do start to see through the heavy snow lights.
Nice.
Sorry, not lights, because it's broad daylight out. But I'd say you would see a little bit of movement coming from doorways from the buildings around the square.
Who's driving?
And as you, it's McGowan, and as you kind of park the Mako, you realize that people are coming out
Yeah, because I'm honking the horn.
to greet you. You're in the gunner's seat, so you're outside, Torque. So you'd have to have some like Mr. Fantastic arms.
Does the Mako have a horn, and can I honk it?
This one has a horn.
Of course, ours has a horn.
If you're asking for opinions
Oh, yeah,
on
it
how the
does.
horn should be honked, my vote is for one big long.
He's just holding it down.
Like a foghorn.
That would be my vote. Feel free to take creative license.
I think on the edge of town, he's like just like beep 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 beep, and then like as they get closer into the middle, he just holds it down.
And that draws some attention. People coming out. You see they're bundled up. They've got hoods up and scarves around their faces, and some of them have goggles on over their eyes. But they come out and at first it's sort of like, what's all this goddamn noise? What's all this fucking noise? But then that, Ray, you in particular pick up on this just because of your ability to read people. But that sort of annoyance quickly changes to shock and then joy as the people start to gather in around the Mako. Some of them seem to be like mostly following the lead, but there are a few folks in the front who you can see are like pointing at the horns mounted on the front of the Mako.
Have we
and
stopped?
as you guys have stopped in the square.
No, we continue to barrel through the town. It's chaos. No.
Grand Theft Auto, drive over everybody.
No, not at all.
Yeah, and as you guys have stopped here, and people are now kind of gathering out, and you guys haven't stepped out of the vehicle yet, so you can't hear people. Well, you could hear people, but sort of muffled. But you could tell there's an excited tone, kind of this murmur through this crowd. It's muffled by the snow and by the fact that you guys are still inside your tin can. But there's a definite presence now that you've returned to town with trophies mounted on the front of the vehicle.
Nice.
Yeah.
I want to step out of the Mako and greet the crowd.
Yeah, you hop down. Again, it's still snowing like crazy, so people are bundled up, and as you kind of step out and start to mingle, Torque, you're pretty big. The only people in the town here that are close to your height are some of the Turians who are present. So you're kind of standing, looking over everybody to some extent. And as you guys kind of file out of the vehicle one at a time, people start coming up to you and extending their hands and clasping your hands in both of theirs and shaking them. Thank you. You killed it. You really killed it. Thank you. And there's just kind of this excited tone, and it gets to be a little claustrophobic at first as the excitement kind of starts to build.
I want to, as big as I can, play the video starting at when the Mako rams into the Behir for the people.
You start to play the video. I'd say it projects at about like a 36-inch monitor, like kind of at its maximum size. And people gather around and are watching it, and some people are kind of in disbelief. Other people fall silent as they watch it. And a human man, looks like he's late 30s, walks up and takes one of your hands in his and shakes it firmly, kind of claps you on the back, says, "I'd love to watch this, but let's do this somewhere where it's a bit warmer, huh?" and he gestures and leads you towards the local kind of dive bar. It doesn't have any rooms for rent or anything, but it is sort of the local watering hole.
Probably just packed.
Yeah, and on a day like today, it is packed. You're right. It's winter, so it's the off season, so all the farmers have a lot of time to kill. And it's a cold day, which is a nice day for drinks and company. And so as you guys kind of are led into the bar by this crowd, you walk in, and the bar is, it's like kind of a local. It's probably one of the larger buildings in the town. Actually, it's sort of like a longhouse almost, kind of this communal gathering, almost like a kind of a weird. It's like a VFW or sort of like a weird community center / with a bar. There's a few different things going on in there. That's like you can see it's like a small stage where some musicians might perform or somebody might get up and speak. The tables are. Yeah, the tables are more of like a dining hall, so they're long with benches. There's different shaped benches for different kinds of anatomy. So like Torque, you see some chairs in there that would be comfortable for a Krogan to sit in with your little tails and stuff.
With your little tails.
Yeah, they've got funny little tadpole tails.
Cute.
Wait, so we just walk in, right?
Yeah, you walk in and. At first there's just like a few people kind of look at you and go, "Oh, okay, whatever," and go back. And then you see some people go like, you in particular, you see Sixus kind of at the far end of the room, and she looks up to see you come in and looks away, and then all of a sudden she kind of does a double take and looks at you and shouts from across the room.
Wait! Before anyone has a chance to say anything.
Oh, okay.
I wanna once we walk through the door, I wanna yell. I want to say, "Everyone! The Behir is dead!"
Ding dong, the Behir is dead.
There's a kind of the conversation that was happening here, and the acoustics of this place make the sound sort of bright and bubbly. That fades very quickly. And from across people like processing this information, because it's a bold claim to make, and you can see some people who are looking at each other like, did they really do it? And there's other people who are like, no, that's fucking nonsense. There's no way. And from across the way, Sixus, after doing her double take, calls out to you, kind of in the silence. I want to believe you, but by chance, do you have any proof?
I take the tooth that's now hanging around my neck and hold it up for them. And then I play the video with my other hand.
Yeah, the tooth doesn't really get so much attention, but it's that first like 10 or 15 seconds of the video from the fight starting, when the explosion goes off to the Mako driving out and crashing into the Behir as the jaws clamp down on the front. And it's a short video. It's less than 30 seconds from start to finish. But
handled that fucking thing.
But by the end of it, everyone, all the whispering has stopped. And there's just this brief pause. And then the whole room erupts in cheers and claps and just this like explosion of celebration. There's probably like, I don't know, 50, 60 people in this room. It looks like it's most of the village, at least most of the adults. And
drinks are like 1-2 credits a piece, right?
Yeah, I mean they're cheap out here. They might be a little more expensive just because stuff is harder to come by.
I'm gonna say all drinks on me.
And that you say that as there's just like, there's the first wave of celebration, and that kind of comes down, and you slide that in there, and it's almost an even louder cheer as everybody is now clearly. It's not even noon yet. But it's noon somewhere on Omara, and this is a cause for a celebration.
I just walk over to the bartender and transfer them like 3,000 credits.
The bartender is this sort of like, looks like a middle-aged Batarian female, and you see the two eyes on the left side of her face, sort of the eyebrow ridge there raises in this sort of like pleasant surprise, like disbelief, like, yes, sir, thank you. And there's going to be credits left over from it, but that's okay.
Yeah. That's the idea.
And you guys,
it's a money move. No big deal.
Yeah, and as you got, Torque, you're going over to the bar. The rest of you are trying to mingle around. People are pressing in to shake your hands, and thank you and congratulate you for everything you've done. This, what was probably a fairly decent day of people just kind of enjoying the quiet and conversing with their friends, becomes a party. There's an old sort of jukebox type looking computer terminal over in one corner, and somebody goes over there and bangs on it a couple of times, and you kind of hear some like kind of this warbling sound as it starts back up, and some nice it's sort of upbeat but not too loud sort of electronic music starts to play in the background. It's this nice sort of upbeat background music, and all of you are kind of getting pulled in different directions. People want to talk to you, want you to tell them about the battle. They want to hear how you felt, and there's just all this excited energy that after almost 2 years of this thing terrorizing this village and others in the area, that it's finally over. And it's a lot to. There are people who are almost crying. There's people who've lost almost entire herds of their animals, whose farms were destroyed by this thing. Like, it's finally over, and not only are people happy, there's also this immense sense of relief. and like a great weight has been lifted off the people of this village.
Are there like kids in this town?
There are
Or at
kids.
this
Yeah,
area?
there are some in
'Cause
here.
Rhea-
Yeah, in here there's a few kids in here, yeah.
Well, there's just so much going on and whatever else that I was gonna say. Rhea would definitely be found like in one of the corner, like more of the corner of the bar, like talking. She weirdly she really loves kids, so she's just like telling a story super like vividly to all the kids that are there.
Yeah, yeah.
About how it happened.
And even if there aren't kids when you guys first walk in, half an hour after you guys have shown up, there it seems like the entire village is here now.
Yeah.
You know,
She's
again,
just
it's
doing
still
that
it's,
like
that's
children's story.
Yeah, it's still less than like 100 people, but yeah, there are kids. There's people of all ages, all of the different species that commonly live on Omar. Primarily humans, Turians, and Batarians, but there's a few other people mixed in there as well. And you guys have just kind of been swept up into this big party that just kind of rose up out of nowhere.
Fuck yeah.
Oh shit!
And
are you ready for this?
Yeah, at some point, a few hours later, when there's plenty of drinking has been had, and things are by no means slowing down, but the tone of the party has changed, and it's a little bit more like, I fucking love you, man. It's people are a few hours into a fucking bender here.
We survived.
And
we survived the Behir, man.
I mean, Torque, you're probably human liquor or non-Krogan liquor doesn't really do much for your
sorry, I have my
redundant your
me.
redundant immune systems and your
that was just a regular townsperson.
Fair enough. But you're probably the most sober person in here besides the kids, just because it's like this non-Krogan liquor is pretty fucking weak. Right now you're craving a nice warm glass of Ringkol, which is Krogan alcohol that no one else should drink. It's
basically bleach.
Yeah, it's essentially bleach. Yep. That is very accurate.
I don't like that.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
Yeah, but the Krogan have, they've got like 2 hearts and everything, so they've got crazy.
So they can spare one for bleach drink.
Well, they've got their biology is as such where like it takes a lot for them to be like poisoned because they're hardy sons of bitches.
You got that right.
But yeah, is there anything you guys want to do? Anybody you want to try and talk to? Anything specific you have in mind that you want to do during this? You could, if you want to have some private time, that's perfectly acceptable. But you've got kind of an afternoon here to yourselves in this village. You don't have to just stay here and party. You can do other stuff if you want.
Torque would also probably be inclined to, he'd be good with the kids too. So he'd be like bouncing kids around and like throwing them all over the place and shit.
Nice. You play the video about 500 times.
Yeah.
Anybody who wants to watch it, you just play it for them, no questions asked.
I'm just like sending it to everyone zombie tool and shit. Just like...
Nice. Yep.
McGowan wouldn't get like super drunk. He would just like hang out until the party kind of started getting to that stage where it's a bunch of silly drunk people.
Mm-hmm.
And then he would just go outside and think about stuff.
Yeah, I would say that
his old profession and what he's doing now, how different it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would. Torque is good in these situations, but he'd probably get over it pretty quick. So maybe he goes outside and sees the big Gowan.
And there's this is like a wood and stone building. This isn't a prefab. So there's kind of a nice wooden porch, kind of covered porch on the front of the building with a few chairs. They're sort of snow covered at this particular time. But yeah, stepping outside, you can hear the noise of the party happening inside the building, but it's much quieter out here. The snow is muffling stuff, and at this point, the blizzard has dissipated, and it's now more of kind of like a moderate snowfall. Where the snowfall is steady, but it's not really affecting your vision too much. And it's actually quite pretty. It's fresh white snow with a little bit of a sparkle to it. It is this kind of quiet moment. The air smells cleaner out here too after being inside for a few hours with a bunch of boozy, sweaty people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you guys just have a quiet moment here to yourselves if there's anything you want to talk about.
So if McGowan was out here first, I'm going to walk up behind him and say, we did damn good work today.
Yeah, we did. Feels good.
I love it when a plan comes together.
Yeah,
Couldn't
that
have
one
gone
worked.
any better.
About as well as it could have, yeah. Wish my grenade launcher had done a little bit more damage. I got to practice with this thing a little bit, but
I'm glad I let you keep it then.
I'm glad you didn't get eaten.
I kind of wanted to see what the inside of that monster looked like, but
Well, maybe
Kinda
give it a
did.
chance.
so what did you do before this?
Oh, worked for a mercenary band. Didn't always have the most. Our boss was the unscrupulous type.
So what you're saying is it feels good to do something nice for this town.
Yeah,
Or at least I hope it feels good.
it does. It was really good.
I'm having a fantastic day. I've envisioned Torque having a cigar during this time.
Yeah, sure. No reason not to.
Rhea kind of doesn't stumble, but comes out the front door while they're doing this. It's probably the first time you've seen her like a little less poised. She's kind of like, "What are you guys doing?"
Just
As she like kind of tries to lean up against the thing, and there's just not really anything there. She's like, "It's fine."
McGowan clears his throat and sips his drink.
we're already reminiscing about recent moments. Good work today.
Thank you. You as well. It was a good team effort.
I still wish my hammer would have done more damage.
It's all right. You'll get stronger.
McGowan stole my kill. I was going to use that kill to go into a blood rage.
McGowan, didn't you hit after him, which means you wouldn't have stolen the kill?
Yeah, I think you just didn't kill it. I gave you
That's what
plenty
it
of
sounds like
opportunity
to me.
You're both clearly drunk.
I don't know where Alpha would be in all of this.
Alpha is inside amusing.
The kids
children.
are now like getting pony
As I
rides
think,
around
as I
the
think,
bar
as,
from Alpha.
yeah. Knox, I think would want Alpha amusing
Yeah.
children.
Yeah.
So he's giving
Yeah, he was with
Alpha and Omega
Rhea.
are like giving kids rides and chasing them around and kind of showing them fun tricks, like kind of,
Weird robot
not
tricks.
quite like discharging their abilities, but kind of doing like a little flashy things and. What?
What?
That voice modulator made you completely impossible to understand.
That made me want to
The
throw up.
computer was
Like whatever
crashing.
that
I
sound
thought
voice
you were
was.
having internet problems. I was like, oh no, Steve, we're losing.
I
we're
literally
losing
was like,
Steve.
out loud. I was like, no.
No, make it stop. Make it stop. Much. It's too much.
I hate it so much.
I will
sorry,
say
I'm
it
sorry.
does sound like Omega, if Omega was like had its brain completely
Was drunk.
scrambled.
If Omega
Yeah.
was drunk, that's
It has that same
Oh,
pitch to it,
this
but
is
everything's just
probably
like
better, right? Is this better?
Yeah, it's a little better. It's not what Ryan uses, but
Whatever. The
I
moment's
can
over.
understand what you're saying.
whatever. The moment's over.
We can understand what you're saying. Yeah, Alpha's just kind of inside keeping people amused. You know, kind of taking the opportunity to further study humanoid behavior.
The humanoids are pleased by the murder of the great beast.
Very good. Very good.
Well, we should probably find Sixus and collect our money.
The money, and the bounty you picked up, the money would be dispersed by the magistrate's office. But when you get back to Port Fullstone.
Gotcha. Okay.
I mean, we could talk to Sixus if you want to.
I imagine Sixus is kind of drunk with everybody else.
Yeah, probably. Did you say Sixus is drunk like everybody else?
Hell yes.
Well, we can go find out. Miguel will head over to Sixus's.
Okay. She's sitting at the far end of the hall, kind of in a high seat almost.
I want to come with.
Oh yeah, I definitely go.
We made a group decision to go talk to Sixes.
You guys approach. She looks at you. She looks. You kind of get the vibe, McGowan, that she's sort of where you're at, where she's had a few drinks, but she's not like over the edge.
Yeah.
And as you walk up, you see she smiles, and her mandibles flex, kind of as they flutter a little bit.
Nice.
And there's kind of a brightness to her very dark eyes. And as the three of you like step forward, she gets up out of her chair and walks down and comes to shake all of your hands. I honestly don't know what to say. I don't know what to say.
You didn't think we were gonna make it.
I didn't. But nobody had.
I don't think any of us even took damage.
I almost gave up. You guys are certainly a cut above the other mercenaries that have come through here to try and deal with this problem. If you didn't have the video, I wouldn't believe you. That tooth, no offense, that tooth could have come from a number of things, but the video.
Have you seen the horns on the Mako?
I hadn't seen that.
You gotta check it out.
Oh, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, show me, please.
And we go out there.
And she walks over to the Mako and she kind of pulls herself up onto the remaining, or onto the kind of one of the front tires, and runs her fingers kind of along the pale bone, the horns, and like kind of sees the whole, the part of the skull that you removed to keep the horns kind of connected. Incredible. It's only been 2 years, but it feels like it's been 2 decades. I don't think I can really put into words how the kind of good that you've done for this town, for this village. We're not rich, we never have been, but the last 2 years has been a lot of anxiety and a lot of worry about when the next family's going to lose their whole herd, or when the next family's going to lose their farm. And at least from that creature, we won't have to worry about that anymore. And I can't really... I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around it.
Well,
it doesn't feel real yet, but it is, and just thanks, just thank you.
the thanks will come in the good sleep that your town can get from here on out.
Yeah, yeah. I imagine you have a reward to you have to collect the reward yet, but yeah, again, I can't really put into words the amount of good that you've done for this place.
There's no need, and even without the cash, that would be reward enough.
Well, I appreciate the modesty. There's nothing wrong with wanting to get paid for a good day's work, and you've
Don't get me
certainly done
wrong,
that.
we're keeping the cash. Don't get me wrong.
She hops down off the Mako, the snow kind of crunching beneath her feet, her long Turian legs sinking into the snow. You're welcome to stay as long as you'd like. And I'm sure we can find beds in some folks' houses for you if you feel like you want to spend the night and you head back to Port Fullstone tomorrow. Whatever you need, you're always welcome in our village.
Got any Krogan-sized beds?
I might have a couple. Not too many Krogan in town, but I'm sure we can find something that'll work for you.
Well, I'll have to catch up with my team and see what their prerogative is. We do have other work that we need to get to.
Certainly, like I said, whatever you want to do, you all are welcome here anytime. You're welcome to stay as long or as short as you'd like.
What do you guys think?
I think it'd be
how
worth
long
it
is
to
it
get a
right
good
now?
night's rest tonight.
Didn't we technically long rest already?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where, like, I guess in this situation, it's more just, it's like, it's not necessarily because you need the slots. It's more just because at some point people need to sleep.
It's RP.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's RP sleep, not a mechanical sleep. Exactly.
You are.
We've been out here for how long?
Let's see. You arrived here yesterday at about 9 a.m.
Okay, so it's been like
It's
a
been
day
more than
and a
two.
half.
It's been at this point. It's probably about 3 o'clock in the afternoon the following day. So it's been 26. 26 plus like 15.
Okay.
So, what is that? That's like 41, I think.
But less than 2 days.
Less than 2 days, but more than 4, or more than 1. Yeah.
Less than 2, more than 2.
Time.
So if
How
we
many
left
months
right
is there in a
now,
year?
shut. If we left right now, we could get back to Port Fullstone by nightfall.
I mean, yeah.
That's about 10 hours to get to Port Fullstone from here.
Well,
So it'd be like very early morning.
if we left at 3 p.m.
Let's see, it's 3 p.m. So I had 4 down, so 3. It would be like midnight, basically, when you got there.
I think we should just leave now.
I'm fine. I'm fine with that.
I'd rather leave a legend than overstay my welcome.
All right.
Plus, we have other missions to get to.
Suppose we do.
I agree. Should
All
we
right.
be driving?
Right, well, I say you guys make your rounds. You say your goodbyes to Stanley from the general store. You say goodbye to Sixus, and you say goodbye to Doc Irawak and a few of the other villagers that you've become acquainted with in these last few hours. And as you guys kind of pile into the Mako, a small crowd kind of gathers outside of the longhouse to wave you off and say their last, bit of thanks.
I honk the horn.
But just a little, it's just a little after 3:00 in the afternoon when you finally pull out of Sorrow, having made for yourself a bit of a local legend. The gunslingers who came to defeat the Goru Behir.
Wait, right before we leave, I'm gonna take my Behir tooth and throw it to a kid.
So a small, a human child catches it. It's a small boy, and the tooth is, it's like 3 times the length of one of his hands. So it's this huge thing. As he catches it, he kind of recoils with it, and he looks up at you and just smiles this big smile, and he like holds it and kind of like holds it to his chest and puts the loop around his neck.
I just look at him and I say, "Never fear the beast," and then we drive off.
And he just beams at you as you guys leave. And on your way back to Port Falstone, the weather eventually clears. And when you finally see the gates of the city, or the walls of the city, the kind of ramshackle metal, wood, and stone walls, the palisade with the lights mounted on it, and you can see the city militia patrolling the ramparts. A few kind of gun emplacements, kind of looking out over the valley. Your Omni tools, beep beep, all in unison. And you go to see what it is, and it's a message from Wayland saying,
Smithers?
"At your earliest convenience, folks, I've got that follow-up for you." And that's it.
Out of character, I can't
Alrighty.
remember who Wayland is.
Wayland, the Batarian you've been working for, Wayland
Batarian
Green.
who hired us to. We were doing these missions to kill time for this mission. He's the guy who hired us to go to the
camp. He's the Batarian smuggler.
Gotcha. Okay. Do we go to him right away, or is he asleep?
You just got the message just now. You don't know if it was a timed thing or if he sent it to you. There's not really any way to know that.
Well, it is after 10.
It is. I had a good stopping place in mind that we're close to. If you guys want to go quickly check in with him.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
Okay. You guys up for it?
I'm good either way.
It's only 9:00 here, so.
I meant for that to be in character. Are you guys up for it?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Well, you guys, considering that you have rooms for rent at Grease anyways, you all are driving back there. And as you walk up, the building is locked up. The windows and stuff are all closed. The door's closed. Lights are off. As you step out and walk up to the door, you're about to knock when it slides open about halfway, and standing in front of you is the human female. She red hair, kind of dressed in like kind of leathers and kind of a dirty vest, and she's got a pistol holstered on one hip, and she motions for you all to come in. Welcome back, folks. You don't look too worse for wear. I hope you've been busy. Waylon's in the back. He wants to speak with you as soon as you can.
Well, we didn't come
All
here
right.
for nothing else.
Good. And as you all step inside, the door slides closed behind you. You see her and the other human male, are both currently awake and on guard. The Krogan and the Drell are presumably sleeping somewhere. Nowhere to be seen at the moment. And the Volus that you saw the first time you came in here is also nowhere to be seen. Heading to the back office, you see Wayland and his wife, the Turian Skaya, are talking to you. Wayland's sitting at his desk. Skaya's kind of leaning back, one arm on the desk, looking sideways at him. And as you step in, Wayland looks up at you. Thanks for coming. I've got some good news. And I've got some bad news. What do you want to hear first? And that's where we'll leave it for tonight.
Ow!
Oh my god.
Oh,
The
Ryan.
suspense.
He missed such a good session. God.
Yeah, that was good. That was fun. That was a good session, guys.
Seriously.
That was the smoothest I think a D&D plan may have ever gone.
Seriously, I cannot believe how
It was so good.
the
And
only
even when you rolled those natural ones
yeah.
for your stealth checks, the Behir rolled a natural
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was actually
So
legit.
Even when things should have gone wrong, they didn't.
Like, I'm normally not a fan of like complex plans in D&D because like shit always goes wrong and like the second roll and the whole thing goes to
Right.
shit anyway. But like that went so well.
The only thing that didn't go to plan was when I rammed the Behir, I didn't like go through him. That's the only
Yeah.
thing that didn't go to
But
plan.
it didn't really affect it that much because like you still hit it, you still did damage, and like
I took
you
one
didn't-
fire damage from your
Yeah, you didn't
proximity
really-
attack. So.
you didn't get in the way. So
Oh, if only that hammer hit would have like struck true.
that
That
would have been pretty sick.
I was
Yeah,
I
when-
planned on like blood raging like just for fun.
He had,
I was
You
gonna like
could've-
tribute it to the gods.
you could have done a maximum of what, like 36 points of damage. It had 28 hit points left when you swung for it.
How many hit
What's the
points did I
max?
have left when I killed it?
1.
Oh, so I like way overkill.
Yeah. It had 1 hit point left when you killed it.
Damn.
Yeah, that thing was easy, bro.
Well,
It was
still-
big. You guys were smart about it. You used all the resources you had. It would have been a lot harder if you didn't use the Mako. And I mean, like, the weather could have always gone bad. That would have made shooting it a lot harder.
Yeah.
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 Which would have forced you guys to engage it at close range where it could do all of its damage. It never got to, because you got the Mako in there and just kept hammering it with the Mako. It was never able to target individual creatures. And if it was able to target individual creatures, it could have wrapped you up in its tail and swallowed you. And there's a whole thing if you get swallowed.
Ah, I knew it. I kind of
Like
wanted
there
to get
was
swallowed.
there was a whole mechanic there's a whole mechanic with the Behir if you get swallowed where like you can try and get out.
Oh, okay. Hydra style.
Or like if it takes enough damage, it automatically like regurgitates you or whatever.
Oh, that's fucking ill. I would have. That would have been some sick ass.
Yeah, but you guys brought the fucking heat on it. You took it. And you got 2 nat 20s.
Yeah.
That shaved off, and the way that we do nat 20s, that shaved off a ton of hit points. Because normally nat 20s, you roll 2 dice. You double the number of dice you're rolling, and so you could still roll 2 damage.
I heard you. I heard you do math on its hit points. So at one point, I knew how much it had.
I know. I said that, and I was like, I said that out loud, didn't I? Whoops.
Yeah,
oh well, can't take it back now.
You were like,
I can't go, oh no, it doesn't have 81 hit points left. I didn't say that out loud.
Yeah, you were like, -9 is 81, and I was like, aha.
I was like, fuck. Normally I'm really good about not saying those numbers out loud, but I let it slip this time.
I totally missed that.
It happens.
Yeah, it does. It happens. And 81 is still a decent chunk of hit points.
It
yeah,
didn't
I mean,
change
you guys,
anything about how I attacked. So.
No, you guys did really, really well. That plan worked almost flawlessly.
I know. That's why we bought the whole town beer. We didn't even come back limping. The only thing that came back limping was the Mako.
And even that's going to be pretty small fixes. If you get old Grom to take a look at it, he can patch it up for you easy enough.
Yes, it's still over half its hit points. So.
Yeah, I mean that 31 points of damage was pretty significant, but
yeah,
it didn't even get its shields taken down.
Well, the Mako actually hasn't had its shields threatened yet because everything you fought in the Mako has been fire or melee based.
Yeah.
So those are both damage types that bypass kinetic barriers, because the way shields work in Mass Effect is they resist kinetic energy above certain speeds. So if your attacks are slow enough, the shields are meaningless. Which is why melee attacks go through shields, and shields don't absorb them except unless they do some kind of extra crazy magic damage or whatever.
Well, that was sick.
Yeah, that was awesome, guys. That was great.
Yeah,
we're hitting a stride. I can feel it. The last couple sessions have been really great.
Yeah, after that last level up, Torque's powers and everything are really meshing together super well.
Just wait till you hit level 5, man. That's when things really start to come together. Is at level 5.
I just can't wait to have 2 attacks.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
Yeah, well, you and Torque are both going to get 2 attacks at level 5. Yeah, you'll get an extra spell slot, Torque. You'll at level 5, if it works the same way it does in 5e, which it may not because there's less spell levels, but in 5e at level 5 you unlock 3rd level spells. So I think you'll unlock 2nd level spells for this. So yeah, level 5. Looking forward to that. It's not going to happen for a bit because it's only been a couple sessions since we leveled up, but.
Yeah.
With this campaign, I'm really trying to stick it to leveling up at the end of arcs, rather than with the other campaigns where, because of the scheduling stuff, sometimes I level up before I normally would because it's been a while and whatever.
Yeah.
So this one, I'm trying to make the leveling a little more predictable, but I gotta go too because I gotta go back to my grandma's house.
Well, we gotta sign off. We're still streaming.
We're still streaming.
All right.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! We got just totally on a tangent. Good post-game conversation that everybody got to sit in on. No, don't tell anybody. You didn't see that.
No.
We can edit this in post. But thank you, everybody, for both tuning in for what's been a really fun episode, and for also just staying with us while we yammer on at each other.
What a cliffhanger! That just happened. I'm helping the edit.
Completely forget that we're still on apparently. So thank you for tuning in with us. We'll be back in 2 weeks to see what happens next. Things could get pretty interesting depending on what Gree's got to say.
Yeah, if you liked this episode, send it to people. Send it to someone who would like it.
Yeah, go ahead and share it on the old Facebooks, on the old Twitters. Go ahead and follow the show on Twitter, at ME Aftermath Show, capital M, capital E, capital A. And there we just post all the, scheduling updates, and sometimes we post fun, cool, NASA satellite photos and, fun space stuff. So go ahead and give us a follow. Stay up to date. Go ahead and also watch the other great stuff that we've got on Known World United, Down and Outlands, Tasty Boys. All the great programming and stuff on the network here as we kind of we approach the halfway point of 2021, which is crazy because it feels like this year we could have had like 17 years within just last year alone.
Yeah.
Because of how long 2021 was. It feels like this year is going by at a blistering speed. But yeah. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
See you in a couple of weeks. Have a good night.
Bye.
Stay cool.
G.